Hey guys, it's Chris from Enola Gay, and it's time for Valken Debrief Live.
Welcome to the most interactive airsoft show on the interwebs. It's the Valken Debrief Airsoft Live Show. Each and every episode is sponsored by the fine folks at Enola Gay and Elite Force. Check out their product lines at enolagay.com and eliteforceairsoft.com. Also, don't forget to sign up for the largest growing airsoft community in the world, known as the Valken Alliance. We also offer alliance sponsorships for qualified airsoft teams. And the Valken Debrief also shares local and national airsoft events so you don't miss out what's going on in your region. We also give away sweet products from time to time, so the more you interact, the greater chances you win. And we work hard to bring you a new and exciting special guest during each episode. You can also find us at many airsoft events throughout the world. And if you miss any of our live casts, you can always catch the rewind on our YouTube channel or SoundCloud. So sit back and get ready for your Valken Debrief.
Warning, the following video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers and/or inappropriate for immature airsoft players. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences with common sense only.
Happy faces.
Happy faces!
Happy faces!
Welcome back, everyone. It's the Valken Debrief Airsoft Live Show, episode number...
Oh crap! I didn't look this. 111. 111. I looked it up.
111.
You like that?
I know, right?
I had the cue card pop up right when I needed it.
You know, if you actually get 111 in bowling, you have to put a little house over it.
Do you
little
really?
roof. Yep.
I don't know any bowling like cool stuff. Like I know hat trick for hockey. You know, you got like walk off home run in baseball. So if you know some cool bowling terms, throw it in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, bowling terms in the chat
Exactly.
tonight.
If you're just joining us for the first time, I'm Kaiju, the Supreme Commander of the Valken Alliance.
Hey, this is Peltast. I am Lord Fuzzyface. I want to say hi to all my subjects of BB-Shire. Remember, sign up at your local government office for the BB-Shire elections. They don't mean anything because I'm royalty, so I can't be deposed.
He is a dictator.
Oh, did we go too far? We can't actually say that. We should say cocktator, not dictator. We can't say that here.
No, we can say dictator.
Okay, we can say. Okay.
So we have a little tradition here. We're coming into 2020. One of our old-time traditions going on for 111 episodes. We have the overachiever of the night.
Who won it?
First,
let me know if I'm lined up on the
poster.
graphic.
Yeah,
there you go.
Is Chris Stafford.
Ooh, Staph Infection himself.
Yes,
friend of the show, friend of me.
Region 3, Rockies region,
representing. Best region,
right?
Rockies region, I'd have to say.
It is.
We may not be the most numerous, but we crush it because we live at altitude.
So we want to give a big shout out to our 2020 sponsors, which are Enola Gay and Elite Force Airsoft.
Wait. There's someone new there. There's a new sponsor there. There's two. There's not one. What happened?
You know what? Tag your friends. Get them here. I'm gonna bomb tag Cliff and Nigel since.
I was gonna call Nigel. You already beat me to it. See, I was gonna bomb tag Elite Force.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. See how many we could slip in there.
So tag your friends. It's real easy. You can see us. Oh my goodness, Mrs. Kaiju's in here.
Mrs. Kaiju, we gotta behave ourselves. Mrs. Kaiju show. We are being proper gentlemen. Nothing bad's going on here.
Let's see who.
He's
tag your
good.
friends. It's real easy. It's real easy. Just like that.
Ooh.
Bring them in here. We're gonna have a good time. We're already up to 41.
I'm gonna follow the theme there and go with Bubba Moore as my tag.
Oh, nice.
Since you did Javier,
nice.
He's gonna come beat me up probably for this, but.
And for those that didn't know, we do have a hotline. For those listening and watching, it is 856-975-0650.
Are we really calling it a hotline? Because there's no one answering it, so it's more of like a voicemail line right now, right?
Oh, but next week, it's going live. It's going to be hot. We're opening the phone lines next week from SHOT Show.
I have to say I'm a little scared about next week.
Really?
This is going to be our first show with a live studio audience.
This is going to be your first for a lot of things.
This is my first SHOT Show. This is my first time doing... Because normally, if you guys don't know, we do this in front of an audience of tools and guns. That's what we do this show to. So having people in the studio is going to blow my mind. Wait, no. Did I? Oh,
blow your mind.
That came out badly.
We're not Rich Gully or John McCaleb in Vegas right now, all right? Slow your roll. Slow your roll. So if you want to see a special guest or a special topic, just leave a voicemail or just give us a shout out. Or if you want to plug your event, leave a voicemail and we'll play it on the show.
We actually have been getting some great ideas from you guys, the audience, and we got some good stuff coming your way this year.
So we're gonna run a new contest in 2020.
Is it official? We're
gonna do it. So when we get back from SHOT Show, we're gonna start running the.
Do we call it GAT Wars?
GAT Wars.
GAT Wars. Show us your pew pew stick.
Yes.
What have you got attached to it?
Just like in 2019 with the loadout battle,
we're gonna focus on pew pewers.
Viewers were showing us their loadouts, and you went head to head, voted on it for each one. But in 2020, we're gonna do GAT Wars.
I'm really excited for this, but I hope it does not devolve into brand loyalty. So it's not gonna be like the K-Dub guys versus the Crytek guys.
Because it's probably gonna be like a Marui with an N7, or it's going to be an amalgamation of stuff.
I mean, I'm hoping we see some cool. You know what I want to see? I haven't seen of anybody from our loadout battles or any of our submissions. I want to see some weird guns. I want to see some Chinese stuff. I want to see some Japanese stuff. I want to see that Singaporean rifle that everybody's been talking about that they want to get a replica of. I want to see weird shit.
So speaking of voting, I'm going to publish a question here so you guys can vote. Because are you going to be at SHOT Show 2020? So I'm curious how many folks are going to be going to SHOT Show this year.
All the
that
people
are actually
are going
watching.
to SHOT Show.
We're up to 45.
Oh, wow, cruising along.
Who we got in that? Let's see. We got Sean Schaefer, Fatco for life. He loves his Fatcos. Carl Urban from
Now, would that
BB
be a
Dynamics?
Fatco loyalist or a VFC loyalist? Because Fatco builds off VFCs. That's a kind of funny, weird line to be in.
Hey, it's a mashup. We're in 2020. It's all about mashups.
2020, do what you feel, homie. Do what
Marissa
you feel.
Gregorich is watching. What's up, Marissa? Jason Spradlin, Brandon Wilbanks. Thanks for watching.
Urban joined us. What's going on, BB Dynamics?
Zeb Zengel.
Hey,
Old
Zeb,
fart
you're
airsoft
welcome
himself.
for that little swag bag you got. No problem. Let me know if you need anything else, brother.
Puddin's in the house. Puddin
himself, the fastest reflexes in airsoft is.
Hey, big shout out to Sean Anderman. Sean Anderman from 10-8 Tactical. They're in Oakley, homie.
Hi. High
What
fives.
is up? Share the show. Tag your friends.
Anybody left? Oh, wow. There's been some Fatco love that has shown up in the chat real quick. I didn't know. Oh, Chris Kramer, what's up, man? How you doing?
Real
Say hi
quick.
to the family for me.
We wouldn't be doing our jobs unless we plug the Valken Alliance, one of the largest airsoft pyramid schemes
so we're not saying
in the
that
industry.
Anymore. It's a new year. We're using the term multi-level marketing.
Multi-level marketing.
So we can slip on.
We're just trying to get folks connected in your local area to get out and play and share tips, share events. That's the big thing. It's about event sharing, getting people out there, sharing
Airsoft is about
events.
playing with your friends.
Yes.
In airsoft.
Playing airsoft with your friends.
Playing airsoft. God, I am doing bad today. It's just coming out left and right.
So you can also search Facebook for the Valken Alliance and join your local region.
Who are we featuring this week?
Oh, Midwest.
Yeah.
That's where our guest is from.
Mm-hmm. Midwest region. Flat region, no hills.
That's
flat.
Right.
Except that lie. I mean, I've been to Oklahoma. There's a lot of hills in Oklahoma. It's a lie.
So, for those of you that won't be able to stay the long haul of the entire show, that's okay. You can always catch the rewind on YouTube, on Valken Video on YouTube.
We'd really appreciate if you guys would watch the YouTube, because there's not a lot of views there. So check that out.
We're getting more listens on our podcast on SoundCloud. I was
going to transition to the SoundCloud part and saying thank you so much for giving us views on SoundCloud. Or it's not views, is it? It's sound based. So it'd be listens. Thank you so much, and spread the message. Invite your friends. Please, we want to grow the audience so we can bring you more cool stuff, like our new sponsor, Elite Force.
Yep.
That's all because of you guys.
So tonight we'll be talking with David Lee, also known as Asianwithhat, not Asian with a hat.
Well, he's actually Asian with interview right now.
True. That is true.
Yeah.
He's putting on his interview hat.
Ooh, I like that.
You like that? Yeah.
See that? That was a good one.
So then we'll be sharing
one bit of rehearsal, boys and girls.
airsoft events throughout the U.S. From this weekend through April.
This week's guest is the perfect guest for the event segment. So if you're going to miss the entire show, tune back in for that. Because this guy has been around the block. Let's just put it that way. He's been to a few places. So he can give you the recommendations for where you want to go play. Sorry, I thought I had a bigger finish on that
Sam
one,
Eden has a SoundCloud channel, dropping my new mumble rap every week.
Wait, what is mumble rap?
I don't know.
Is that like chopped and skewed?
I don't know.
Am I too old at this point?
So, all right, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with our special guest, David Lee, so don't go anywhere.
I hope I get to see Jonathan Higgs in this one.
So tag your friends, get them in here. We'll be right back. See you in a bit.
Hey everybody, thanks for checking us out here at OpEx. I'm Buckwheat from Cerberus Airsoft, New Jersey. Go ahead and do yourself a favor. Check out Valken Alliance at www.valkenalliance.com for your free swag and some really cool guys to meet. Talk about the sport.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Valken Debrief Airsoft live show, episode number...
Oh, my feet first. Sorry, my feet first.
What episode are we?
Oh, 111, sorry.
111.
111, I'm dropping the ball on this one.
This is Peltast.
This is Kaiju.
And we are here with
The
David
Valken-
Lee.
Oh, I thought we were going to do the show and then sorry.
No.
Okay.
What's up, David?
Can you tell we don't rehearse?
How you doing, guys?
How's it going, buddy?
The special guest segment of the show is brought to you by Enola Gay.
What does Enola Gay make? Do they make
Smoke
some
grenades?
good stuff? Do they make things that go boom?
They do?
Do they make things to keep me warm when it's a little bit like fall weather?
Oh, yeah. For the top, the arms.
Do they make like cool t-shirts if I want to show off for the ladies?
They do.
Ooh.
And bags.
Oh, that's right, bags now.
Yeah, tactical bags.
Don't they? I think they... Wait.
So everybody, give
grenade straps, too.
Give
I
some
forgot that.
hearts or thumbs for Enola Gay
Oh, that's right,
sponsoring
Enola
the
Gay.
special guest segment tonight.
And, of course, our special guest, Mr. David Lee.
Yes, sir.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
Sorry, we went on a tangent
good,
there
guys.
a little bit. You'll get used to it.
So if you have a question for David, just put it down in the chat. We will either ask it or we'll ignore you. We have no problem.
I think that I'm
We're
ignoring
a little
questions.
biased here.
It's my new year, new me. I'm just ignoring questions from the chat. I'm going to see how angry I can make the chat.
We're at 49. Are we gonna hit 50?
49?
Am I gonna have to give
I
away
think
something?
at the top we actually hit 60.
Ooh, no, we did
54?
Oh wait, damn it! It's
Dang
jumping
it, I have
around.
to give away something
Stop
now.
going in and out so we can actually get a real number, guys. Because otherwise we have to wait for the.
I know, right? But you know what? It's already over 50. I'm gonna give out a Airsoft Innovations XL Burst. Because
Ooh.
those are going to be hard to find.
Aren't those
in
not
a little
really
bit?
gonna be
Because
around much?
next week, Airsoft Innovations is going to be in our booth next week, 3826, debuting the replacement to the XL Burst grenade.
Are you saying we get to check out some new hotness? Is that
Yes,
what
we
you're
do.
saying? Yeah, I like
So
your hotness.
we're going to give away a free XL Burst grenade tonight to one. Don't let me forget that we have to draw a name at the end of the show.
Because if we don't draw the name, I get to take it home, right?
I know,
That's how it
right?
works.
Exactly.
I get to keep it.
Exactly. And I just have to give a big shout out to my boy Spaz. He's Crosstown Wrestling Varsity 106.
Oh, dude, Spaz! Everybody,
So,
right now, if you could
give hearts for
'cause
Spaz.
It's not pandering if I
Yep.
tell you to do it.
Give hearts for
so,
Spaz.
Spaz for Junior Kaiju, Mr. Spaz himself. He is working hard, wrestling one weight class up, right?
No, 106 is his weight
I
class.
thought he was one. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
he's tiny.
Yeah, he's tiny.
So,
He's
all right.
wrestling varsity. So high five.
David.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There he is. I heard him clickety clacking. We got to bring him back.
Oh no, he's commenting. Look,
I know.
do you see the heart?
So-
I just want to say the hearts right now in the chat
I
is
know.
awesome.
It is.
them
So, David, what do you
Yes.
do for a full-time job right now?
So I'm actually at my office right now. I'm actually a marketing manager for a car dealership. So I take care of the photos, do a lot of their videos, and that's pretty much my job from Monday to Friday.
Oh, that is really cool. So you are you designing like campaigns, or are you more executing the on the ground stuff, like taking pictures and figuring stuff like that out?
I do a lot of the stuff on the ground right now. I take care of a lot of the inventory, and some of the inventory stuff I actually take out and to locations and actually get some photos on them. Some of them would be downtown, some will actually be at oil rigs, or I'll actually take them to a lake to actually get some photos of them with the lighthouse behind them.
That's
pretty
really
cool.
rad. I was
Oh,
always
and
wondering how you guys got those.
Holly in the
dealerships.
control room is just saying, you got to talk just a little slower for us. Because, it's the internet. We don't want you to sound slurred too fast. Yeah, exactly. But his connection is probably one of the best connections we've ever had.
I have to. If you give a high five to David right now for having the best sound of any guest in
Sean
Debrief
from
history.
10-8 says, David helps out at 10-8 tremendously. Oh, Brandon Johnson. Ask David how much he misses him.
Ooh, how much do you miss Brandon?
Okay, so I'll tell you something about Brandon. I knew him. I want to say I met him at an AMS event, and then we really got to know each other at AMS Southern Front. And he was a platoon leader. I was a platoon leader. And I was taking care of a lot of drone stuff at the same time while running the platoon. And he was literally calling me on comms as much as he can and saying, hey, where's the enemy right now? And I'd be telling him, like, literally where everyone is, from way in the distance or very close to them.
Nice. So a little combined arm action.
And, man, we have a top fan watching. Says, regards from Portugal.
Mr. Francisco Lobo, call sign Black Wolf.
Is that the gentleman that was watching last week? I'm sorry, but
Yeah, he's always watching.
And I actually wanted to apologize to him real quick because you were right. I called Portuguese like bar food tapas. I didn't know the right name. I used the Spanish name for it, but I know you guys have little munchies that you go from place to place. I've seen it on TV, and TV wouldn't lie to me.
That is true. That is true.
So I did not want to disrespect your wonderful country.
All right. So, are you from Oklahoma, or do you just kind of live there most of your life?
I have lived here most of my life. I want to say it was 97, which is, I want to say maybe age 3. And then where I was born, I want to say it was North Carolina. It was Greensboro, if I remember right.
Oh, nice.
That's isn't that one of that's deep in racing country, if I'm not wrong, isn't it? That's like NASCAR run, like you have gas instead of blood there.
You know, I wouldn't know because most of my life I've lived in Oklahoma, so that's the hardest question to ask an Oklahoma, mostly native guy.
So, just quick question for an Oklahoma. So, if you consider yourself an Oklahoma native, what's the issue with Texas that you guys have? I mean, I keep hearing this stuff. No one will give me a straight answer. The Dallas guys say it's because they're from Oklahoma. The Oklahoma's guys say they're from Texas. Is there a real reason for this, or you guys are so similar that you have to find a reason to fight?
I think it's a reason to fight. You just look at the drivers. The one thing I hate about the drivers the most from Texas, they always like to occupy the left lane. I have no idea why, but they love to occupy the left lane.
Well, I would say it's because they're faster than you slow Oklahomans, but that would pick a fight now, wouldn't it?
That is true.
So, really cool to have you on. And for anybody who doesn't know, David is actually pretty OG when it comes to airsoft. And
for his age, yeah.
For his age,
yeah, he is.
And a lot of people don't realize this, but through this interview, we're going to kind of bring out something for you, which is kind of the story of American airsoft, because David is kind of someone who's been there the whole way, and in much that the hobby of airsoft has kind of gone from being infantile and childish to being an adult that is for adults. So is our friend David here, and not in a negative way. I watched him grow up in the sport, and it's really awesome to start to share this story with you guys. So on that note, how did you get your start in airsoft, sir?
So I got into airsoft at, I want to say it was back in 8th grade, so 14 or 15 years old. It was, I want to say backyard airsoft is where I started. It was back when airsoft was a lot more backyardian in Oklahoma than it was.
I like that term, backyardian. I think I'm going to start using that for lower end airsoft. It's more of a backyardian game today. I like that.
My definition of backyard airsoft was actually in the woods, where we actually had friends that actually had about a couple acres to actually play in the woods. That was back in 2008, where we had CO2 guns. A couple people actually had guns from Academy. My first airsoft gun, which to them was revolutionary, was a JG MP5. So a JG MP5 to them, they had CO2 springers and some sniper rifles. I had a full auto airsoft gun, and they were all kind of scattering and running around.
So, I mean, and that's a little weird to hear because you are a very steadfast M4 dude. So to think of you with an MP5 is a weird look, just to say the least. You know what I mean? That's true.
I'll tell you something. I think the reason why I bought the JG MP5 was most likely Call of Duty 4 when I was younger.
Yeah, there's a certain color. I really like my MP5 because there's a certain thinking that I'm a ghost or whatever.
My very first one was the ICS MP5 SD6.
Ooh,
but yeah, that one sucked.
It did.
It was a split gearbox.
Did it look good on the outside, though?
It did, though.
It did look good. That's all that matters, right?
If
you look good walking out to the game, it doesn't matter if you play well.
So, quick question from the chat, David. High ready or low ready?
Oh, no, that's from Sean.
He knew who asked that even before.
The short answer I will give is yes. My normal preference when I don't want to be tired is actually low ready. When I'm actually trying to get active or get two-handed with my gun, and I'm entering rooms, is going to be high ready.
Wait, hold on.
I don't know why that happens.
Are we talking about low ready from here to here? Or are we talking SEAL style where you do the whole port arms thing when you clear? Is that the argument?
I think port of arms is this, right? So my high ready is more like this. Okay. And I'll drop down. And
so it's a Navy versus Army argument more than anything else at this point. Because
no, this is a Sean Anderman argument.
No. Sorry, to give a background for anybody who doesn't know, there has been a discussion, and I'm not going to get too into tactics or anything because that will send the chat into the salt mines never to come back. But for a while now, there's been a discussion in the training world of, is high ready better, like the SEALs do, where they do that port arms kind of, and then they bring the weapon into themselves, or is the low ready, which is what Marines and the Army train with, which is weapon down and you bring it up to target. And there's arguments to be made on
Or
both
there's
sides.
like what I do, the Charlie's Angels ready.
Yes, and there's
Because it's got to be next to your face, so when you get a good tactical
The
picture,
Iraqi
it gets
offhand.
your face and your gun.
It's very important. So that's a little background on that. And if you guys want
Right.
to know, the main difference is it's just the Army has catwalks above their shoot houses, and the Navy does not, and that's why they train the way they do. Yeah, that's it. It's
Steve
just-
Tom, short round Tom, is he says high ready or low ready is like asking taking or receiving.
Ooh, I don't know. Do you want to receive?
I know.
Or wait, taker or receive? Oh, I get it now. I just put it together. Okay, I got it.
Oh, Sean's like, why do we have to choose? One, they both work in different situations. Oh, Sean set you up with a trick
Yeah, he did.
Jack.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
I mean, the long story short is that I go back and forth on both. You know, when I run a sling, I'll run low ready, but when I take off the sling or when I'm actually having it wrapped around my neck, I will actually do a lot more high ready stuff. It's a lot more, very much, the answer is it's situational.
And I like that answer a lot. It's situational, and it's too long to explain all the situations. You know what I mean?
Corey from Guardian at Barrel says, I go with hands in pocket ready. You know what? I've totally seen him. I've seen him just like, his gun's just slung and he's just walking around
Have
with
you
his hands
ever
in his
seen
pocket.
Corey with his hat forward? I don't think I've ever seen him with his hat forward either. It's always hat back, hands in his pockets, gun slung. Have you ever seen it any different?
That's
When,
just
when he's
Corey for
in
you.
the game, it's turned backwards.
Okay, but
when
it goes forward?
Yeah, it goes
Okay.
forward when he comes off the field.
Because I've even seen him like in his cop car backwards. I'm like, is that allowed, or is he being naughty?
I think he's being naughty.
Oh, he's being naughty.
Maybe
I'm
it's just better for peripheral while sitting in the car. But anyway.
Yeah, moving right
So,
So,
what were some of
real
your...
quickly, I
ahead.
wanted to say something. Garrett Walter says, oh no, it's situational. If anyone in Oklahoma City knows this joke, you know the joke.
Oh, okay, hold on. Is there an inside Oklahoma City airsoft joke that we need to hear right here? Like a
Okay,
backstory
so
that Art
it's-
Phil
it's
said?
kind of more
There's
of a
too many OKC cops in the chat.
Oh, no, okay.
No, not happening.
We'll save that till the numbers drop out.
Okay,
As
okay.
soon as the cops get out, they have to go back on show.
So, what were some of your early online influencers that influenced like your early airsoft participations?
So I'll give you two generations. One, you know, when I first started, it was elementary, or not elementary school, but junior high. When I was in junior high back in 2008, the most popular airsoft channel, if I can remember right, was actually Scout the Doggy. And if you guys are old school enough, you remember who he is. And
I am
wanna
still
say
subscribed.
yeah, what is he at like right now? Like 500,000, or is he actually at 1 million subscribers?
I don't know, like, and not to talk shit here, but like, I wish he would just use some better lighting because he's always in that shady forest, and so you can never see the BBs. You know what I mean?
You know-
Like, that's the only
you
thing
know-
that drives me nuts about his videos.
I will say this. I actually like that because as a photographer and a videographer, the best thing to ever have is actually to have even lighting, which is shade and cloudy days.
Oh, okay. So there's some technical stuff that apparently I didn't realize because I'm just a dancing monkey and I don't actually produce behind the camera. I dance here for your entertainment.
I mean, I just
I
think it's
know.
amazing because, you know, so many people run around with GoPros or Contours
Yeah.
nowadays, but he runs around like a hand camcorder. It's crazy.
I respect that.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got to. And you know what I really
I
love
mean,
about
he's
his
like
videos?
probably filming at true like 24 frames a second.
Oh,
like
and he
cinematic,
falls down
you know?
at least once in every video he does, and he leaves it in. He leaves it in every time he falls down. You gotta respect that. Someone who's humble when they do their videos.
Oh, I got to give a quick shout out to, we got Sam Asadi from Airsoft Junkies
Ooh.
and Paul Whitman from Jackal Tactical in the chat.
Do we have lots of field owners here in
do.
the chat right now? So can you guys give some love to field owners because it's a
Yes.
really unloved job because it
It
doesn't
is.
make a lot of money, and everybody's always
Holy
angry
smokes,
at you.
Cameron Peden is watching. Dude,
Oh,
I haven't
wow.
seen Cameron in forever.
David, you are bringing them out of the woodwork, sir. I don't know how you do this.
So, go ahead.
Other influencer. What was the second?
Yeah,
one?
what was the-
Sorry.
what was the
I
second
got
one?
excited when you said Scout the Doggy.
I'm sorry. So Scout the Doggy. Aside from that, when I took a little bit of a little gap from Airsoft, it was around 2010, 2011 that I got back into Airsoft, and it was actually Freddie Wong from Rocket Jump, and his original username on YouTube is Freddie W. So
Wait,
if you guys
so-
are actually special effects or film guys on YouTube,
Wait, you're talking about the guy who makes the videos where like he like shoots 10,000 guys, not the guy who makes the pork buns, right?
actually the best example would be Video Game High School.
Okay, so it's not the guy who has the show on ABC. Eddie?
No,
Okay.
I'm actually unsure about that one.
Wasn't he the one that did the 360 no scope?
Yes,
Yeah.
actually, he was the guy that actually made the original aimbot video on YouTube for like real world aimbot.
Is he still doing his channel, or is he doing like real stuff now? I wonder.
I think he's doing a lot more real world stuff. He still goes back and forth, but he's been a lot more inactive, which that's one of the other things about Freddie Wong. I want to say he's taken more of a seat back to it and been, focused on more of other things, but he still has his Rocket Jump channel, and then he also has his Rocket Jump Facebook. So I don't know what's been going on with him.
That's kind of the problem when you get started on a platform like YouTube, because there's not a ton of money there, so that when you get offered a quote unquote like Hollywood gig or TV gig because someone sees your chops, unfortunately, when you go start being professional, the quote unquote place you got your start kind of falls by the wayside. But it's great to see these being successful, but it's kind of sad that we don't get to see his videos anymore. You know
right,
what I mean?
right. So from Freddie Wong, the way I actually found out about Evic was actually through his channel. Like I never heard about Evic. It actually was mainly through Freddie Wong first that I actually heard about Evic.
Oh, really?
And yeah, so the most popular companies back then was actually Airsoft GI and Airsplat, which I want to say Airsplat is now defunct, right?
I think they got bought out by someone.
They were bought out by the gals that own Megastore. So yeah, so back in the day, you remember the big five? It was Evic, Airsoft GI, Airsplat, Airsoft Megastore, and AEX. Because they had like 5 retail stores in California, something like that.
Yeah, I think I'm still so new to the sport, or sorry, watch the chat go insane now, hobby, that I was coming in right as Airsplat was kind of disappearing. Like you could find their videos and stuff, but then you couldn't order anything from their website. And
that's where I got my first gun. Was Airsplat.
Is it really?
I mean, literally, you put Airsoft in the
they were
search
just
bar.
the first one that
well,
popped
it's like
up.
Airsplat. I mean, it's like
Marketing lesson.
It's like
if
the
you're
first
going to
one.
name a company, get yourself up in the search bar for free by using those early characters. You know what I mean?
I think Megastore just bought them just for the name. That happens a lot.
Sounds like a smart idea.
Yep. Oh, dude, we always have a lot of interesting firsts on the show.
Is there a first?
Airsoft C3 is hinting that they have plans for field owners in 2020.
All right, do I need to start wheedling here? Is that my job right now?
So
is there?
So Rich,
does he want to?
He's from Airsoft C3. He's going to be at SHOT Show, so we're going to have to poke him and prod him because maybe a certain event is coming back. Maybe.
I can't.
What's it called? Underwear?
No. I'm not even going to go there because I actually have information now.
Oh.
I can't share it. But mostly, I'm going to shame Richard because he let me in before the rest of you, and I'm not shit. So you guys should be very angry that he is not sharing any more details right now. Maybe bomb tag him. Maybe encourage him in the. You know what I'm saying?
I said it.
He kills it. He kills it for me.
Hey, we got Jerry Ross, Beast.
Oh, how's that work out, dude?
Gorilla Airsoft.
I saw your. Wait, no, wrong Jerry. Sorry, never mind. I don't know what that. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay.
There's too many. There's too many Jerry's, Mikes, and Chris's in Airsoft. Everybody needs new names.
Because we were talking about all these shops. I mean, you got into guns and you were watching those 2 YouTube channels and doing your gun purchase off there. I mean, were you spreading your gun purchase around, or were you just kind of buying them from the same source, or what?
It's kind of hard to explain. It's hard to remember back then. I want to say it was Airsplat initially, then it turned into a little bit of Amazon when Amazon was actually still kind of small, kind of like eBay, where Amazon and eBay were still small, where internet purchases were still kind of becoming a thing. And then it turned into, I want to say, the coupon wars back then, where it was Airsoft GI and Evic.
Did you just say coupons? Like coupon codes?
Yes. Back then, they actually had a huge coupon war, and they would go back and forth saying 20% off with this coupon. And I want to say it was GI and Evic that went back and forth on that, and people can actually attest to that there was a such thing as the coupon wars back then.
I'm a little jealous that I wasn't around for that because I like to consider myself quite the impulse shopper, and so they would have gotten me several times over, I feel.
Dude, we got Patrick from Poland.
Ooh!
2 guys watching internationally. Actually, I think there's 3 or 4.
The term's Polish, right? Yeah, Polish.
Yeah,
a
Patrick's
Polish gentleman. No, I was just trying to think of what do you call
Polish are not
from
gentlemen, dude.
Oh no.
Okay, I'm gonna put the fist down right here. I served alongside a Polish unit in my first tour in Afghanistan, and those guys were awesome. They had this 4x4 wheeled vehicle with a 30mm cannon on it, and they didn't give a shit. They just shot it at everybody. No one messed with their patrol. Those guys were badass. I loved them. So the Polish get 3 thumbs up in my book. You can't see a third thumb right now. It's hidden.
So David, tell us about your first. So you did some backyardigans stuff, some local stuff. Tell us about your first big event experience.
My first big event. If you don't mind me taking a pause, I just also want to mention this for a dear friend of mine. I want to dedicate a little bit of this chat to one of my dear friends I've known since 2003 that was recently wounded in action overseas in Afghanistan. And I also want to thank all the members of the U.S. Armed Forces.
Well, that's an awesome message, man. Thank you.
Now, to get back to that question, my first event was actually American Milsim's End State. And that was by far...
Where was that at?
That was actually in Roosevelt. Originally, it was supposed to be somewhere way up northeast. I want to say it's the same one that... Yes, Pitcher, Oklahoma.
It was supposed to be in Pitcher.
Yeah, unfortunately, I guess there were some EPA things that was going on, so they had to actually move it south because they kept losing space to actually play over there. So it was not worth their time.
That was many moons ago, and it is very clean now.
Yes.
Just want to say that.
I don't know. Like,
okay,
I mean, are we talking like, can you eat off the floor, or is it just normal clean?
You can
Lead
actually
poisoning.
get clean potable water.
Okay, potable water available in Pitcher, Oklahoma. Enjoy.
So, End State was my first event for like a national level event. It was from American Milsim's down in Roosevelt. It was actually a junkyard, like literally the largest junkyard in the United States, if I remember right. It was definitely the largest junkyard in Oklahoma. Maybe 200 acres, if I remember right.
Wow. So, I mean, junkyard, idiots in airsoft gear running around shooting each other. I mean, I have to say I'm excited for all the angles that provides, but I spent a lot of time in pick and pulls, and there's a lot of sharp objects there.
No,
so
there is.
Did you go home with a lot of like hand cuts and stuff like that?
Actually, I got a story about
do you have one?
Me and David at ESR.
Ooh, okay.
But David Pollock is from the UK. He's watching.
What's up, our British friends? British Book of Smiles.
Yep. And then Ted Colligrove.
Where's he from?
He is from Northeast region. He is another media content producer in Airsoft that's on the Northeast side of that.
There's
country.
Mr. Michael 4/3.
Yes. No, Ted is real. We actually had Ted on the show sometime back. He's known as Primer Productions.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. He's always out there with an orange bump helmet.
I've seen that now. I've seen a couple of those videos.
Exactly.
I know Exactly. And now I'm actually going to go watch them fully through now that I have a reason to, because I know you. We're friends now.
So we're at I think it was ESR 3. I think
was this the flooded one?
It was no, David. This was the first one. It snowed.
Ooh.
That was ESR 2.
2. So we're at ESR 2, and it's snowing, and me and Woodcock and Kevin Tran, we're rolling around.
I haven't seen that dude for a hot minute.
I know, right? And then we had just did this massive overrun. We were playing tan. Green was all embedded in the creek, and we pushed them all out. And you get to that lull where all right, what do we do now? And so my back is it's like this. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm talking to the dudes, and David's 50 meters that way, and he just it's like he just grabbed his cojones, was just like, hey, move your ass, get over here. And I turn around, I'm like, say what? And he goes, oh, my bad, Kaiju, do what you want. It was cool. But, I mean, he was doing the right thing. He was trying to get people not to just lollygag around and high five. He wanted people to keep going.
I have to say, if there is a descriptor for David, unabashedly social and putting himself out there is definitely a way I would describe him. And that's a perfect story to describe this gentleman.
I want to say back then the original tactic came from Jim Hansen, Ranger Mayhem. He actually kind of gave me this little idea that if you actually yell across people, that you actually might get people across, and it kind of helps get the point across too for some reason.
Emotion creates motion.
Yeah.
So we always used to say back in the day.
Always remember the Penske truck, ESR.
Oh, no.
All right, so I've been here. Right,
You've never been to ESR.
I'm going to stop you guys right here, okay? Because I keep hearing about this fucking Penske truck at ESR and this fucking U-Haul at Copperhead 1, and I have no idea what people are talking about.
Oh, which actually that was Ranger Mayhem.
Yeah. So I want to say we actually had a little joke to that after the U-Haul one. It was called UTSD. The other one was Task Force U-Haul. I was actually originally part of the original skeleton crew of Task Force U-Haul.
So why does everybody have these horrible memories about these moving trucks? Like, what happened? Did they just like lock
The
Penske
truck doesn't
the
move.
Penske trucks didn't move. It's literally a location.
Yes.
And at
so it was
ESR
just like
1,
an identifiable wreck.
So
it's at the corner. So the field is like mostly in an L, and it's like literally at the corner.
Oh, so it's like that pivot
dude,
point.
it's like you're either using it for your advantage or you're getting pinned the hell from it.
So you're either accusing the other team of cheating or being accused of cheating.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I see how it is.
So the craziest part to ESR 1, I don't think Kaiju was there. But ESR 1, there was no way to get across the field. There was only one way, and it was literally at the Penske truck. So there would be always a back and forth movement of either going 10 feet or 10 yards forward of the Penske trucks or 10 feet back.
It's the Pegasus Bridge of ESR, basically.
Worse.
Okay,
just because you can actually jump on top of the Penske trucks, or you could actually hide under some of the cars of the Penske trucks.
Now
and by
I'm
the way,
jealous.
back
I've never
then,
been to Roosevelt. I'm jealous now.
ESR 1, you actually had full auto in every single gun. Like all assault rifles actually had full auto back then. You had the original 20 feet MED.
That was like right when
that was the
Oklahoma
BB
invasion turned into AMS, and they were still figuring out the rule set.
When there was the Broken Home, and then that's when it became Broken Home. And I'm not going to tell that story, but if you're OG enough, you might know that story. We're not going to share it though. It's deep lore.
So you were a senior, right, in high school and you went to this first big event?
I was a senior. I was it was 2013 when I first got into national level airsoft, and it was very interesting as my first event.
So I'm guessing it was rather eye-opening in terms of your kit, how you played, stuff like that. So. What were the big changes you made after now coming back from? I mean, they weren't really known as national events back then, were they?
No,
they just were like big games,
big scenario weekend.
Yeah, there wasn't really a terminology
It was like a full weekend event
of airsoft. Yeah, like I'm going to somewhere to play airsoft for a weekend. Say what?
Mm-hmm. Not for a day, like a whole weekend.
Yeah. So, what was the big change in how you approached things once you came back from that first weekend? Did you lighten your kit? Did you make it heavier? Did you go to different guns? Like, what was it eye-opening? What was the change for you?
So first thing I did when it came to gear, it was definitely I had to get more heavy-duty gear because I bought my first play gear that I actually used for that event or for airsoft was, I want to say, the original Chinesium Cirrus. It was made by, I want to say they're kind of defunct. It's a Weapon Blender. If you guys are old school, you guys will know who is Weapon Blender.
Weapon Blender was an interesting place to get gear from because their quality control was not the best. And if you lucked out, you got a really good price on a good piece of gear. If you did not luck out, you had a lot of stuff in the wrong places. And when I say like stuff in the wrong places, I'm not saying like loose threads and shit. I'm saying like Molly sewed on upside down and stuff, like sideways and stuff. Yeah, But if you lucked out, because this was back in the day when you had like 3 major gear companies. You had like Condor, Grey Group, Diamondback Tactical, and like Blackhawk was all that was really making stuff. And then you had the government contractor, which was who makes the IBAS?
Eagle.
No, not Eagle. Blank Point.
IBAS.
Is it Blank?
Point Blank?
Point Blank, yeah.
Point Blank.
That makes the IBAS and the improved body armor for the Army and all that stuff. And so, like, really finding gear that was less than $300 for a chest rig was pretty unheard of. So
Ted Cosgrove's going like, "Oh my God, Weapon Blender!" Ted's like, "Man, that's when I used to order from WGC Shop in Shorty, USA." That's
man, Shorty,
WGC
that is such an old name.
It's over in Hong Kong. That's like the only place like you could get parts for some guns back in the day.
Ooh.
It's like you had to order them, and they'd show up like a month later.
And you hope you got the right one, and heaven forbid you have to return anything because like the address just doesn't exist anymore. Oh,
WGC's
or God
still
forbid
there.
that you spend $200 on a part and you can't send it back. Period.
So actually, speaking of that, we skipped ahead a little bit here, but I wanted to talk to you.
Hold on.
Oh, what happened?
Adam Mahaffey is asking, what is your most essential piece of kit that you can't go to an event without? Not counting gun, eye, ear, or head protection. That's actually a really good question.
That's a fantastic question. So, like, I guess it'd be like, what's your little kitsch, neat piece of gear you always like to have on you? Like, I always have a cooling towel on me. That's really great for, like, snapping and it cools down. That's my favorite piece of gear. What would be your version of that there, David?
You know, if I had to think of anything, it would definitely, I mean, aside from gun, eye, ear, or head protection, it would either have to be my mask, mainly not a mesh mask. It's literally a black mask that I used to always wear, or it would definitely be my plate carrier because I do not like getting shot in the chest. I used to play games without the plate carrier, and the worst part is getting either shot in the stomach or getting shot in the ribcage.
So you actually have a real reason to wear quote-unquote body armor when you play, because, like, I know a lot of people grab plate carriers because you see people on the internet wearing plate carriers, right? Or you see, like, the SF dudes, but, like, you know, for me, I don't care about, you know, getting hit by a BB because I'm a man. You like that? You like how I slipped that in there? No. But mostly, like, I'm more worried about passing out from heat exhaustion than getting hit by BBs, so I go for as minimalist as possible. But you actually have a real reason that you don't want to get shot in the chest. So when you guys are planning, the point I want to make here is that when you guys are planning your gear, think about it and have a reason for it. Don't just do what everybody else does. You know what I'm saying? Like,
back to you, Ted.
Oh, Nigel just mentioned the Garter Intruder Shop. Man, that's old school.
I don't even know that. What's that?
So Garter back in the day was like they made all the Marui High Kappa upgrade parts.
Okay, so
like that's the only place back in the day you could get a metal slide.
So there was like
for a high
like
Kappa
pre-Laylax kind of like.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, it was like. You know, it was hard to get a metal slide for
to let some of you younger guys know, or maybe people who are new to the sport. Like back when I first got into like starting to get my own gear when I was a young private, you couldn't literally buy anything, you know, for less than $500. So the cheapest way that we went about stuff, especially when I was in Korea, is you just go get some pictures of that Black Hawk chest rig that everybody had, and you take it down to your local tailor and be like, "Can you make this?" And they'd make it for you for like $50. I mean, it wouldn't be the same quality, but like it was a tenth of the price. It was great.
Who remembers in the chat, you know, if you've been in airsoft that long, who remembers like when you went to go buy tactical gear, you know, like a plate carrier or an IBV or Rhodesian.
Oh wait, hold on. Moment of silence for the Rhodesian rig.
Oh no!
You can continue. Okay.
Well, no, you had the Rhodesian
no, they
rig
still
because,
exist. They still exist
because you had that. It was a chest rig, but it had that extra plate.
You
piece.
guys are taking this the wrong way. That was a moment of silence in honor.
Oh,
of
honor.
The Rhodesian
Okay.
rig. I am still a big believer in the Rhodesian rig.
Remember back in the day when you would go to buy a plate carrier or whatever to carry all your stuff, it's like you paid one price and it literally came with everything. Like 8 to 12 pouches.
Oh, like that old Blackhawk cross-draw vest that have it all attached?
No.
Oh,
I'm talking like Pantac. Back in the day.
Oh, okay.
It's like the maritime or the land version, you know, of the vest and stuff.
Where you had to take all the little floaties out so it didn't like
I know, it's like $200, you got everything and you just put it wherever you want. Now it's like, man, it's $200 just for the system that carries it, and then it's like $30 for that pouch, $50 for that panel, $20 for that admin pouch. I mean, it's crazy.
I don't really think I've ever added up. I mean, I know I like to brag that I have like the $100 kit. Like everything I wear is up like $100 if you total it all up. But I forget I have a lot of pouches and shit laying around. Like it's. I think my most prized piece of gear and you can't find them anywhere is I have an ICOM pouch. If you remember the old ICOM radios, and it works great for a Baofeng radio. It fits perfectly. It doesn't mess with the buttons. It doesn't do anything, and you cannot find them anymore. And it's made of neoprene. Is the crazy part about this pouch, and it is my favorite thing. So I kind of forget that those are the little ones those are the little items that cost a lot of money, and I end up with like, you know, I have all that stuff sitting in a box, so I don't really have a $100 kit.
Actually, Maddie has a good question. What are some of y'all's best deals you found on used gear?
Surplus stores. If you don't have, jump right in, David. Go for it.
Oh, okay. So I adore Oakley. Like my first time I actually bought an Oakley set was like, I want to say $60 used, and it's actually from Tony Patton. But my biggest steal that I actually got from a surplus store, they sold me 2 Oakley M frames and a set of ESS crossbows that was also brand new in the package, $20.
Ooh, that's a deal. And
yes.
I'll back up that story because I know we luck out, we're right next to a big base, but you go into our surplus stores down here in the Springs, and there's like boxes of iPro. And yeah, you may have to go through a couple sets to mix and match like the unscratched frames for dark and light, but $20 for like a set of crossbows or like, a pair of goggles, that's a deal, man.
I got to caveat that, though. Like going into a surplus store, you're looking for like very small niche kind of things. You're not looking for like stuff to carry your things.
Yeah.
Like it's great. Like Garrett says, TMC, Condor. It's okay to get set up with that kind of with Condor, or TMC, or FMA as an initial kit, because those kits they'll pretty much carry everything you need, and then the more you play, you'll kind of figure out, oh, this doesn't work here, I got to move it, oh, I can't move it, maybe I should look for something that's more modular or whatever. But totally getting into the sport, I mean, you can get a good Condor TMC kit for like
actually
under $75 with a whole bunch of stuff on it.
A good pro tip for that. The quickest way to figure out if your gear is usable or not is don't first test it out on the airsoft field. Put it on in your house, do your chores. No, seriously, like if you can load the dishwasher comfortably in your shit, or do the laundry.
There's always one.
You can reach around and grab stuff. And it sounds silly, but it's a way to save you a day of uncomfortable playing, because people buy this shit and they wear it for like 2 minutes at home, and then you wear it for like 6 hours at the airsoft field, and now there's holes in your hips and
all
stuff.
You have to do is just try to take a knee and try to tie a shoe. Literally, if you can't tie your shoe, something's wrong.
Or I'm just too fat. That has nothing to do with my gear. That's more of an eating issue for me.
Oh my gosh!
So actually, let's take this back a little bit, because we skipped one of your favorite topics, and I'd love to ask you about it. So, what was your first real adult gun? So like you started out with like the old school gas blowback from JG, but what was your first time that you like sat down, considered your purchase, made a gun that was something you were going to use for a year or two? Like, that first step up gun. What was that?
My first one that let's just say if I had to actually buy it and I kept it for years, that would definitely be a G&G Scar.
Ooh.
Like that was the original G&G Scar. That one was the best way to explain it. As a tech, I could open it and close it within 10 minutes. Open it in 10 minutes, close it in 10 minutes. And it was by far the easiest gun I've ever had to actually open and close. The problem with that was that it broke easy. And I'm talking about on the gearbox shell.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, that's an interesting answer, because, of course, Scars get a lot of hate and love. Just they're one of those weird niche guns that people either love or hate. And so, like, the main problem you were having, was it actually like the internals or the gearbox itself broke on you?
So this is my habit as being a tech. When I buy a brand new gun, I am going to break it open within a week or less.
You have that problem with, even if it doesn't broke, I still got to fix it?
More like I demand performance, but like I want it to work immediately, like this.
Yep.
So when it comes to like G&G Scars, the issue that I have with it is that if I tried to throw in an M120, had everything right, and it actually had a radius corners on the front. If I tried to throw in any M120, had a sorbo on it, and actually did everything right, it would still crack. I don't know why. It just happened. And this is back in 2012, 2011 that this happened.
Maybe you just hit that upper limit of stress that maybe just you didn't realize it,
I don't know, but at the same time, this is back when we had full auto, nonstop, no problem.
Right.
But actually, remember, boys and girls out there, full auto is actually easier on your gun than semi-auto. Because remember, boys and girls, full auto, things keep moving. Semi-auto, things have to start and stop.
Yeah.
So it's actually better on your gun if you're firing full auto.
So we're actually having a good discussion here in the chat. So it remind me, for Maggie, get your local store or field to have a swap meet.
Ooh,
because that's a great way to get used gear for really cheap, because people are just trying to move their stuff. Like, who was it up here in the chat said they've had their Rhodesian rig for like 10 years.
Don't let it go. Keep it.
Don't
let it go.
Kevin Wynn said that.
Don't let it go.
But Adam says never, ever skimp on quality pants, and I would have to agree.
I would actually...
Pants you don't skimp on.
No.
To say something to a swap meet.
Okay, no. Hold on. Footwear is... You don't fuck with footwear, okay? Because I always can rip my pants off if they're rubbing weird, but I don't have an extra pair of boots on me. So like the thing is, boots will make you miserable later in the week. Well, pants make you miserable that day.
Here's the thing with shoes in general.
Yeah.
People think you just buy one pair and it's the be all. And like, no, you need to like rotate your shoes, your footwear, like at least every 3 to 4 months.
He's a liar. I have one pair of Merrells I've been wearing since Afghanistan. They're the perfect boots. That's all you need to buy.
I don't need this a second. Okay, and
that's why
the elitist is going to come out in a second because I'm a Solomon person, and I swear to God, I beat the crap out of my Merrells in 6 months, and I wear my Solomons every single day for a year, and they don't break.
I think we're gonna have the first boot fight in debrief history. We've had gun fights, we've had gear fights. We've never had an argument about boots. Well, I like that. So no, I'll throw it out there. And honestly, I haven't owned a pair of Solomons or many other brands. I just have had a couple pairs of Merrells. They've lasted forever, and so the reason I always give a shout out to Merrell is because I haven't had to buy another pair of boots. So I think that's a pretty good recommendation. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, you just gave me flashbacks of Tim.
So.
Do you know where somewhere I can get a proper pair of boots?
Can I get a pair of boots to play airsoft with?
He showed up with
just
a Milsim event,
interject something for Maddie, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
Swap meets are definitely the best, and I'm gonna tell this off for Tony. The best thing I actually stole at a swap meet was actually 2 gear bags each year. It was literally one gear bag that's like the largest loadout bag you could buy from LBT that cost $400. I think I bought one gear bag for $60 and got to keep whatever was inside. So I basically got this gear bag for free. And then
so it's like a bag of awesomeness kind of deal.
Yeah, it was actually from JP.
Oh, that's cool.
But the other crazy one this past year was actually a multicam loadout bag I got for I want to say $50. Yeah, and that was practically brand new, mint brand new from LBT.
The other thing I want to throw out there to you guys is when you ask your local field about holding a swap meet. Remind them when you're presenting it. Just don't say, "Hey, we want to go sell our shit to each other." But like,
volunteer.
This is a reason to get that people will come out if they weren't going to come out otherwise. Swap meets, like anything else, add traffic to the field. And if you weren't going to come out that day, it's an extra reason to play airsoft. So it's just one more thing that your local field can add to the schedule to boost interest.
Chris Whitley, I have to agree with him. He says custom insoles are worth the investment. Like, I run Super Feet. Which are actually formed inserts. They're not just like Mr. Scholl's little shove in there $2 things. But yeah, custom insoles are worth the investment because it's actually formed to your foot. Because shoes aren't necessarily formed to your foot out of the box. They might feel more comfortable than others.
Does anybody else have this problem? Like, I can't buy boots online because depending on the brand of boots I buy, my size is different.
Yep.
I just can't. I don't know who's buying boots online or shoes online, but tell me what I'm doing wrong because everything I order is always the wrong size. It's like 3 times to get the right pair of boots in the mail. It's awful. So please help me out with that because apparently I'm an idiot. All right, moving along. So,
let's see.
Did we?
So on the poll, are you attending SHOT Show 20? Actually, 13% of the viewers are actually going to SHOT Show.
Oh, I was actually hoping this was going to be an 80. It was 87 meant they were going. That means all of SHOT Show is watching the show right now.
No.
So let's go back to we were exiting your high school years and you're about to hit college. So what did you study in college? What did you go there for?
So a little quick story to go with that whole college part.
Yeah,
I actually did college while in high school, which actually was through trade school that actually set my credits from trade school into college.
Oh, very cool.
So I did video initially in high school through, I don't know how to explain it, but long story short, in trade school, before I graduated high school, I was actually doing video first.
You're not self-taught. You've actually been to video school, so you actually know how to do some of this stuff. You have some formal training. Oh, you cheater.
To be honest, when it comes to video back then, I was still a very cocky, arrogant person when it came to that because I still felt like I knew what I was doing. I really did not know what I was doing. But there was a lot of things I could critique on, but I definitely could not execute on what I was trying to critique on.
So,
gotcha.
This is right about the time that you were getting real heavy into national events. How did you balance? Because the prime airsoft time is spring and fall. Summer's there's some events in summer, but
you really can't skip class.
Yeah, but I think most of companies are moving away from the middle of summer for events because they're tired of hauling players out on stretchers.
True.
So you have the 2 hot times of the year for airsoft are also the hot times to be in school. how did you manage to make that work?
Well, I'm kind of Asian, so it helps, that I could actually study really easily.
Oh,
and then go do whatever I want on the weekends.
Hashtag sometimes stereotypes are true.
Yes.
I just want to say, David and I, we're Asian. We're not Bijan. We make these.
You are.
Well, sorry.
Hold on.
I guess I
Peltast is actually Caucasian, so he's got us as well.
I'm what?
Caucasian.
I'm Caucasian. First of all, I'm just going to tell you, our audience right now, I drive an 8,000-pound truck, so I have a very tiny penis. That's all I'm going to say. Just, it's microscopic. Literally, right outside this door is a truck as big as this fucking wall, which means that I have a little tiny cock. So enjoy, guys.
Oh, Garrett actually has a good question. Is using drones in airsoft cheating?
No, fuck no.
So the reason he was actually part of my platoon, along with Anthony Fan at Southern Front. We actually were one of the first people at an AMS event to actually use a drone at an actual national level event without actually causing too much of an issue.
Wait, that was you?
At Southern Front, yeah.
So
because it was just hovering over the ladies' showers.
So the person that was actually running was actually the marketing guy. Sorry.
No, keep going, man. Sorry.
So the marketing guy at AMS was actually running in my group, and by the way, hashtag B Alpha, because we're both Sony guys. So it's like, hey, Wayne, can you go run with me as my drone operator, so that way we can actually help out everyone, because that would actually be a major advantage over everyone else. The best part about Wayne is that this is going to be a long story short, but he's a Part 107 certified drone operator that he can actually make money. So he actually knows the laws, he knows the ins and outs when it comes to the FAA.
107 is actually...
Okay, David,
slow down.
Holly
I'm going to slow down.
Slow down.
Getting excited.
Yeah.
So let's
Holly's she's like giving me the finger.
Okay. Where's the? I don't see a finger. Where's the finger at?
Oh, she did like the Friends.
Oh,
yeah.
That was a bad one.
Yeah, she did like
Ollie, I'm very sorry.
If it was so fast that she's just not letting me see it, or like it's a hidden finger. I don't know.
Well, you can't. I can see her, but you can't see her because she's behind the lighting bar from your angle.
I'm going to give props to Gino, our Lord and Savior patron. But he put this poll right here in the studio. I don't know why it's here. I think it's for announcements, but he requested it, and I can't see that part of the booth, I think on purpose.
Dude, Corey says Alpha for life. John says Fuji is better.
What's John? Oh, John Dorsey. So he's when I first got into the transition period for Canon to Sony, he was actually part of me actually going into that, and I was like full send into Sony, and he was actually kind of delving into Sony, and he went the other direction because he had some guys in the background that was kind of speaking into his ear like the devil.
Forgive my ignorance, but like, is the Sony Canon thing like Ford versus Chevy, or is it like just Pepsi versus Coke? Is there like a real difference, or is it just kind of like?
I'll give you three ways or three brands to actually explain it well. Okay. You have Ford, that is Sony. Mm-hmm. Then you have Canon, that is. I'm sorry. You have Ford, that's Sony. Then you have Chevy, that is Canon, and then you have Dodge, that is Nikon or Nikon.
Okay, so it's not like the difference between like one's your everyday driver that is good and ready and rugged and gets you from point A to point B, and the other one's like your Ferrari that takes the perfect shot but doesn't work day to day kind of thing. It's more just like variations on a theme more than anything else.
It's so hard to explain because every single camera on the top end are very similar unless you get into the weeds about certain things that make you prefer this camera. For me, it was the low light capability out of Sony, and then the other part is like if I wanted to pull something from like the whites or the shadows. So the highlights or the shadows, I could actually do that out of Sony. It's really hard to explain unless you're a photo guy, but literally I can pull the impossible.
Brandon says Canon is just better.
No,
it is what it is.
I like that.
Well,
Brandon
I'll say this.
Argument.
So
Sorry,
there's a white lens over here.
Argument's over. Sorry, Canon's better. Sorry.
Brandon put the nail in the coffin. Actually, hold on. But before we get deep into cameras, because we'll have time for that, Kevin Wynn actually asks, David, what's the gun you most regret getting rid of or don't have anymore, and what made it so great?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Okay, so Garrett Walters actually has my second gun, or my gun that I got rid of that I regret selling, and it was mainly it was a Crytek, and I used that for like almost 4 years. Like it was the gun to go to. And Garrett Walters got it at the time where I was making my transition into more into camera stuff. So I was selling off a lot of my expensive gear that either I had to prioritize on, that I preferred this gun or this gun. So this was the gun that I didn't use the most, and he wanted it. So I think I sold it to him. I think everything in it, about $700, $800. I sold it to him for like $500.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, do you have a question?
Oh no, dude, the chat's. I mean, I'm recognizing the chat.
I was going to expand upon that, but if you want to do the chat, you want to do the chat?
Yeah,
Let's do
chat. They're going crazy. John Dorsey says he's kind of going back to cameras, but I think it makes a point for airsoft guns as well. Is they all take great pics. It's the person behind the lens that makes a difference.
Ooh, if you got a shaky trigger finger, doesn't matter how good your gun is, homie.
Oh, and
big shout out. I got to say to that is that skill is 90% of it, and then there's the 10%, which is the gear.
Yep. I think it's a good analogy. What else you got from the chat?
Matt Holler is in the chat. He's going to be our special guest next week from Missouri Airsoft Simulations.
Is that official now? Are we telling everybody that he's going to be on the show?
Well, yeah. He's going to start posting graphics tomorrow, yo.
Oh, well then.
Exactly.
I didn't know. Apparently I didn't.
He actually asked David, are we going to see you at SHOT Show?
Mm-hmm. I'll see him at SHOT Show.
Guys,
I'm actually, I would love to actually go talk with Matt Holler and actually, it's hard, a little bit of drama, but I want to actually make amends with what happened in the past, if anything.
Hold on. Let's since this is a very adult thing to say here. I just want to highlight this, dude. If you don't want to go into why you need to talk to Matt or anything, that it's perfectly fine. Everybody doesn't need to know the whole story, but the fact that you are publicly saying right here that we had bad juju in the past, I want to set things straight so there's no issues. This is how airsoft drama fucking stops, guys.
Yep.
If you just ignore the guy and talk shit about him on the internet and sideways, and luckily, through the power of the debrief, we can bring these two together.
So, hold on, David.
Okay.
Because Alphonse just joined us in the chat. Alphonse is watching. Because I remember I was talking to you before the show.
He's got a big beard, right? Big beard, machine gun?
Yeah, big beard, machine gun. He's swole. He just put out that video about him running around in his Stormtrooper kit.
Oh, that's right. And with the MP5, I saw. No, it was with the new Chris.
The new
white Chris,
the new white Vector. So Alphonse got a question for you, because Maggie posted in the chat way earlier that she's thinking about reffing in an Imperial Guard costume. I mean, Alphonse, say in the chat what you think, what your thoughts are, because you shared your thoughts on what it's like to play
for the Blood God
in a Stormtrooper armor. So
skulls for the Skull Throne. All praise the Messiah is all I'm going to say.
What the?
You don't know about this shit. Just stay over there, okay?
Star Wars is better than Game of Thrones.
The Emperor protects is all I'm going to say.
Hey, to say something quickly, 7 through 9 was bad, and you should feel bad. That's all I got to say.
Oh, is he picking up? Oh, no. See, you crossed some lines here, my friend.
Oh, I'm going to see you next week.
Yeah, it's too long.
I'm going to see you next week.
I'm just a film critic, so it doesn't help anymore.
I think you forget it. I can hit my brother, but you can't hit my brother. Sorry, man. This is internal. You can't pile on. Sorry.
See, you got to be like Corey. Corey only talks about me behind my back.
What do you think?
You can't talk to me like that in front of my face.
You should see that chat that me and Corey have going behind your back. It's fantastic. I know, right? We're never going to be friends again.
Kaiju, do you mind if I say something real quick from that other subject?
Yes, go ahead.
So, I got to say this because I've matured a lot more over the years, and I can definitely say that I made a lot of mistakes. I definitely made a lot of mistakes that I do regret in the past, and there are a lot of mistakes that I do not regret. At the same time, there's a person that mentioned that I disrespected a certain military service member. To be honest, if I did, I apologize. And the fact of the matter is that I was a younger person and I made a lot of mistakes. And in airsoft, we all make mistakes no matter what. It's going to happen to everyone. So in the end, we all mature and we got to learn our mistakes from the past.
Dude, I just want to give you... Can everybody please give props to my friend David Lee here in the chat? Like some thumbs up, some love, because that is a super mature thing to say, man. I think... I just want to give you this... I want to tell a quick story about you real quick, how me and David met. Is that okay? Can I tell the story?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So David had jumped on my team's truck back in Broken Home 5. And he was rolling with us for a little bit, and one of my teammates was a newer guy to the sport. I'm not saying I was an old hand at that point, but he had a lipo that ate itself while we're sitting back there, starts sparking, smoking. He chucks his gun out into the field. David has the presence of mind to jump off the back of the truck, pop the buttstock off, pull the battery, chuck the battery, save the guy's gun, and had the presence and just calmly took care of the situation. And at that time, David had a reputation of being kind of a younger punk, and let's use that term. And I'm not using the punk like punk rocker, but like you had kind of made a name for yourself, with a video that was kind of semi-toxic. You had an airsoft injury video, and that's kind of how you made your bones. And to see where you've come from that area to make a statement like you just did today, and see some of the companies you're working with and the work you're doing, it warms my heart, because I've watched you go from like this punk kid to this full-on fucking adult, and it's really awesome to see, man. And I don't know if I've gotten to say this to you in person, but I'm proud of you, dude. You're an awesome guy.
It's part of his transition, because David was sharing with me about he used to be a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament player.
I want to hear this.
And the mentality to be those Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic players, it's very internalized. It's very selfish. It's
competitive.
And when he first entered airsoft, you could see some of that coming out. But the more and more he got into airsoft, it actually, how did that change you? Your perspective of doing more airsoft to kind of, I don't know, to get rid of your Yu-Gi-Oh PTSD, I guess.
So to explain what Kaiju was talking about, I stopped talking about this because people told me you shouldn't be talking about this, just because I guess I could say I brag about it. I don't talk about it anymore. But
in case you haven't noticed, the point of this interview is to get to know you, so it's not bragging. Right. We are literally doing an entire show about you. Nothing you can do is bragging.
So I used to be top 10 in the world in Yu-Gi-Oh! I was one of the youngest Yu-Gi-Oh! Players that was ranked top 10 in the world on a ranking system. And I was consistently going like Friday, Saturday, Sunday playing local tournaments, and I somehow got into the top 10 ranking in the world. And that was for like 1 year. And I noticed that there was a very arrogant, trending community in the local Oklahoma City community, where a lot of people were very much looking out for themselves, or they would seclude themselves to their own little team or little circle instead of helping out the other guy.
Yu-Gi-Oh! In a lot of ways, like anything that like, any weird small insert hobby like that kind of has reflections of each other. So kind of airsoft is kind of a lot of the same way too, where you have small communities that are built up around one field or one team in an area or one personality, and it isolates everybody, and they kind of hoard their exposure like Smaug. So it's kind of the same thing.
Kinda. I'd have to think about that really hard. It was definitely a taste, an acquired taste for sure, for Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah. And in airsoft, the best example I could think of is when, like at End State, when I first finished up End State, or actually leaving End State, I kind of missed that community that was there, because I could actually leave my stuff in the open, no one would touch it, and I could leave my whole kit in the bed of my truck, no one would touch it, and it was you couldn't find it in the Yu-Gi-Oh community back when I was a kid.
Well, you can't do that today either, though.
Yeah,
it's different now.
No, you're not wrong.
And
it's different now.
I could speak on that a little bit, because here's something weird that's going on. I don't know if anybody's noticed this, but it seems that airsoft's starting to grow again. Is it just me in America? Does it seem like there's more players come in, or maybe we're just cycling in?
So I think it's always had a steady flow of new people interested in the sport. It's just when we thought it looked like, a lot of people like, airsoft's on the downside. No, it was like a lot of the 30-somethings
were just
left the sport either permanently or temporarily, and so there was a generational gap.
Okay, so
and those were the people you were used to seeing at events a lot.
The hand-me-down knowledge kind of didn't get handed down. And so, just speaking on that, like, basically, when I started playing, I was really not worried about my gear. At big events, I'm not worried at all. I mean, you know most people that are there once you've been a couple times.
Yeah, just give him electrical tape and,
What? Shh, don't worry about that.
He uses electrical tape like it's going out of style.
Yeah, because I'm cooler than you. That's all I'm going to say. But sometimes at local fields where you have bigger crowds that are more transitional, I've noticed that lately I've been a little more careful about securing my shit, just because it seems when you have a gap in the player age where new people come in, it's not necessarily that people want to steal shit, it's just that people haven't been educated in the proper way on the etiquette of the sport. I think, and
Maddie says 2015 to 2016 was the fastest growing. Yes, 2015 I consider the golden age of airsoft. I mean, everything was like, in 2015 it was like perfect everywhere. No matter where you went, everything just seemed perfect, and then we're in a season.
I think I've discovered the reason that downturn happened. See, I started airsoft in 2014. So by the time I started traveling around,
that's what
I was
happened.
ruining
He
airsoft.
ruined it for everybody. He ruined it for everybody. So David, while we're talking about gear, everybody wants to know, what was the appeal of Cry Precision when it first came out?
So the craziest part, it's really hard to explain that because there's a multitude of answers to that. But the first thing that comes to mind was we had a lot of guys back in 2013, 2012, a little bit of 2014 that were also gear impressionists. They wanted to actually replicate the gear, cosplay to like the accuracy of like Army Rangers, Special Forces, Navy SEALs, Delta Ninja SEALs, you name it. And
whoa, Delta Ninja SEAls? Are those like all ninjas?
If you guys are actually airsoft tabletop guys, you guys will know the reference.
Wait, are we talking the original?
Neil Santos said that phrase before.
Okay. not
Delta
the
Ninja
not
SEAL.
so round table.
No. Who is it? Airsoft Prior.
Hold on. Are we going to go back to the Airsoft Roundtable back in the day? Like
The best podcast I could ever see from Airsoft,
I have
in my
to say,
opinion.
that was my first exposure. Like I know I say this kind of like about a lot of stuff, but that was one of my first like research exposures to airsoft. And the crazy thing was I found out that everybody that was on it lives like 40 minutes away from me. It was
right?
I thought I was living in like the hub of airsoft. I'm like, oh, they're making like talk shows and shit here. Like if I'm gonna pick one place to play airsoft, Colorado is where it's at. And then I was like, oh wait, that's just a fluke and I'm an idiot. But
Well, yeah. So
whatever happened to that Mako guy that was on a couple of those shows? Was he? He was like really big at the time. I remember somebody named Mako or something.
Yeah.
Kilroy.
He lives in Castle Rock.
Oh, does he? He's still around.
He's still around.
That's cool.
Oh.
Sorry.
So on the subject of Cry, there was a lot of impressionist guys, and so a lot of the appeal started with guys that wanted either the JPC just because it was the cheapest high quality play carrier you could buy that is made in the United States, and then there was the gear impressionists that would go spend $700,000-$800,000 on those harness carriers, the AVS, the CPC, or the original chassis play carrier that you saw on Transformers.
Oh wow.
And I mean, in the end, a lot of us Americans love made in USA gear. We love to support our guys in the USA. So, support your friends in the USA, just like Titan Power. I like supporting them just because they're now made in the USA for sure.
See, now he's going to say Titan Matt 3 times, and then Matt's going to
No, I think he's like Candyman. You got to do it 5.
Oh, got to do it 5?
Yeah.
You got to do it backwards.
See, in Robo, if you say his name 3 times, he appears. But,
really?
Yes, but I can't say it 2 more times. See, that was my second. You said his name earlier. Now if I say it a third
don't
time,
say it again.
We got to take him out for
All right. So Kevin Wynn actually asks, what's a real gun that is not manufactured for airsoft that you want to see done?
Ooh,
that's pretty.
What do you got?
Can you say that again?
So
what's a real gun that's out there?
Been made?
No. What's a real gun out there right now that does not have an airsoft replica that you would like to see made into an airsoft replica?
Ooh.
That I'd had to think of. It's
Oh, I got.
You know what? I'm an anime person, so I'll just say it's probably going to be the one from Gun Gale Online with a character named Sinon. She was running something called the Hecate or something like that, and it's some I want to say the French sniper rifle that is.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. It has that weird looking bolt pull on it and a weird looking front muzzle brake that looks like it's like Snoopy's nose. Yeah, the French guys, the Foreign Legion guys used to carry this thing. It was this weird bolt gun. It looks weird as shit, but it's surprisingly balanced. It's actually a really cool gun. It's like every other French.
But he said
weapon.
real gun.
That's a real gun.
Yeah, it is a real gun.
The French army uses it. It's their it's their version of the.
So the anime show replicated tried to pull a lot of real world guns into their show. That's why.
So I'm going to throw this one at you. Little bit of going to be a little bit of connoisseur here, but the Negev, if you know what that is.
Don't know that one.
Okay, so
honestly,
the Negev is from the same company that makes the Galil, and it's
Okay.
their version of the Mini-Me. It looks kind of the same, but it has a lot of weird differences to it, like the stock folds forward and stuff like that. It's about 5 pounds lighter. It's a weird gun. I got to shoot it about 15 years ago, and I just loved the ergonomics. Just turned me on like you wouldn't believe.
Alphonse says
Mark 48.
Mark 48.
What is the Mark?
Dice
48?
Airsoft says SIG MPX. I thought. Didn't I just see Fatco post 2 SIG MPXs?
I'm pretty sure you can get a Fatco MPX. At
He's probably trying to make a shout out for Elite Force because they want that SIG license.
Well, I think there. I mean, I think there's also a company named SIG that is making those SIG guns. Unfortunately,
I mean, SIG is making
SIG
Airsoft guns. I mean,
so I don't think they're giving that license up.
They took that back from Cybergun and be like, nope, we're going to do it now.
Which I have to say, that is an awesome thing to see, that we're seeing more real steel companies that want to make airsoft guns. That's always a good sign. You know what I mean?
Oh, Mark Street is watching. Big board gamer.
Oh,
man, we got all kinds. I mean, we got David from Dice Airsoft. He's a big miniatures guy.
Are you just lost over there in the chat?
I know, dude. It's blowing up, man.
Oh, actually, speaking of which, I want to speak on this topic. I saw a cool video. There is someone coming out with a Mark 19 airsoft version that actually recoils, and it doesn't shoot airsoft BBs. It doesn't shoot BBs. It actually shoots like tagging rounds.
Adam also asks, even better, what discontinued gun would you like to see come back? PSG-1.
Really?
PSG-1.
I mean,
I got one even
version
more
2
rare.
gearbox PSG-1.
What you got?
Asahi M40. That is, if you guys actually have watched the Austrian YouTube channel. It's an Austrian YouTube airsoft channel way back in the day. It was Scar AT. There's the Asahi M40 and the Bear. I forget what it was, but it was a brown Bear 50 cal M82,
nice.
And those guns were very unique. The Asahi M40, especially because it's a Japanese airsoft gun that also got rated by essentially the Japanese government because they're using something similar that would be able to convert into firearms.
That was like a big story a couple years ago, wasn't it? I've heard like people talk about that, but like as a joke, but I never knew the whole story. But I knew like it was like apparently like the Japanese government came down and shut a couple airsoft companies down because they said like you could make real guns with their machinery or some crazy stuff like that. I don't know. So it was some crazy story. I never heard the whole story. I'm sure it was something stupid.
David's like he wants the Masada to come back. I think that's a lot of people want the Masada to come back.
Oh,
that's just a Modern Warfare 2 thing. That's just me.
You know what I've never seen in airsoft? A Browning high power. Has anybody ever done a Browning high power for airsoft?
Browning high power. Wait, the World War II Browning high power?
Like the post-World War II British service pistol. The Browning high power.
Got it.
And if you ever get a chance, boys and girls, the Browning high power, in terms of like fun shooting guns, is one of the smoothest shooting guns ever because it is heavy like a 45 on the frame, but it only shoots 9mm. So it's got a real slight low kick on it. It's great for follow-up shots. Real good shooting gun if you ever get a chance.
So let's swap gears here real quick. What companies in the industry have you had the opportunity to work with?
I wouldn't say it's a long list compared to like Gregory Wong and Jet, but
but we're not interviewing them. We're interviewing you.
No, we're not. So my first company that I was sponsored by was actually Raptors Airsoft, which is now Airsoft Station.
Oh, okay.
That I was sponsored by. I worked also with PTS, Lancer Tactical, multitude of airsoft companies, Titan Power, currently Body Armor Vet. I'm their marketing manager, and there's a couple of other ones I can't think off the top of my head for sure, but there's just been a list that I can't even think off the top of my head right now.
So here's the question that's coming: is sponsorship worth it? Is it worth your time to do it, or is it a stepping stone, or because everybody's going to ask the question. Every kid wants to know how to get sponsored. Is it worth it? What do you actually get out of it?
There's 2 to 3 tiers. I'll explain it in a minute. The first one is that the initial YouTuber. Good luck with that. Second part is as a production guy. We're doing it. Well, actually, no, I take that back. Free. The second tier is free stuff, and we're making quick videos to actually get the free item for free. And then there's the third part where we're actually, for me right now, is that if I get this free item, let's say the H&K VP9 from Elite Force, we actually did a review for them on that. And what I wanted to prove a point to is with some of the camera gear like I got behind me, I'm trying to prove quality in the videos so that way we can actually get returning clients that want to actually have their items promoted on YouTube to the tier of something you would have to pay a production for.
Okay, so let me hold you right there. So when you say you're making content for a company that's sending you something, and that's the give and take, guys, understand. If someone's sending you something, they need to do some marketing out of that. Like that's part of their marketing budget. So what are the companies actually looking for when you're making the content for the give and take? What is the best way to present those items, and how would you do that?
In today's standards, if I had to say minimums, the start would be 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. A lot of companies require that you have to have a following, and then the other part is that you have to have enough leverage. So the long story short is leverage. If you have the backing to actually prove that you are worth it. Like saying so on YouTube, 100,000 subscribers is one of those. The other one is if you actually have a decent amount of average views per video. So not talking about like saying so the JP video where I got like 5 million views to right now about 1,000 per video.
So just to go a little bit more in detail, when you're actually doing the video, I'm talking about like what are companies, in your opinion, looking for when you're producing that comment in the actual video? Because some people seem to think like it's just some gameplay video. Some people seem to think like it's take a picture of your buddies holding the box and the item. But what were you actually trying to focus on when you were making this stuff to get something back out of it for everybody?
So multiple answers, and I apologize. First part,
whatever you want to do.
When in my first set of years that I started getting free items as a YouTube channel, this is back when you had a low set of standards back then. It would be just review it, give us your answer, and then help promote it if you can. That was one of those. In today's standards, the best way I could explain it is that what they're looking for is helping you or helping the company to actually push the product out. So Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, if you're actually able to push it out, that's the biggest thing.
Okay, so the biggest thing, the most important thing you think they're looking for is numbers and how you can reach that message. Okay.
Right. Well, return on investment is one of those.
There's another caveat that a lot of people don't know. It's click-throughs.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a video could have 1 million views, but if it doesn't generate clicks that go to a purchase somewhere, I mean, all it is it the fans of the channel watching the video, or is it really people that are interested in, I wanted to buy that, so I Googled it, saw your video, and they clicked through to buy it.
So it's the difference.
That's why you don't see a lot of this old marketing style anymore,
right?
Because now, it doesn't go all the way
anything.
Yes,
you get the message out there, but you don't get the people to do anything with the message.
Right.
Oh, I get you.
Now the third part is the people that are fans of your channel. They like what you're doing, and they want to help support you, so that way you can actually get content as is. Because, like saying so, I had the slider over here. This is something that is not really known in the airsoft community. We call it B-roll. And so we have A-roll, which is footage like we're talking right now. And then if you cut away and you have footage that you show of like the details of the item and things that you're concerned about.
So to translate for our audience, what he's saying is when you guys watch your local news, they always have that shot that establishes the interview where the guy's writing on random papers and shit on his desk.
It's that random crap that's playing in the background. You're only paying attention to the reporter.
Yeah.
You don't care about all this crap running in. That's B-roll.
It's those, they don't actually hang out at the business until the lawyer decides to write a letter. They just ask him to pretend to use his computer for a little bit. So those establishing shots, that would be your B-roll, and then your actual face-to-face is your A-roll, is what you're saying.
Right.
Okay.
So some of these guys actually like your content because of the quality, and they want to support with the quality of content that you're pushing out. They're very few and far in between. I think I've seen a lot of camera guys and the photography, videography world that are actually getting those type of people because they actually like what they're doing and they want to actually support it.
So really what you're saying is that the mistake a lot of people seem to be making is they're airsofters who try to do videos, and so they're not very good at videos, but they understand airsoft. So the true measure is finding someone who can make and edit videos but also likes airsoft. So you need to have the video talent first, so you can translate that.
It's up to the companies to figure out, is this person just in it for a box of free stuff?
Ooh,
are
that's
they
a
just
good point.
So I get a lot of requests. I actually go to a website where I can put in their YouTube handle, their Twitter account, their Instagram account, and it actually gives me a report card. Ooh. And I can look back 12 months and actually see if where their viewer why did it spike in this time when they had 2 videos that were like 7 weeks apart? Why was there a spike? You know, that's strange. I'm like, oh, did he pay for viewers? And it gives them a grade, a rating.
Is that a website anybody can access, or do you need a membership or something?
No, it's a free website.
So that's a way you could actually check your value before you go try demand shit from a company.
Yeah.
You might be good to know your worth before you set a price.
What is it? Socialblade.com?
Socialblade.com.
Yes.
Yep.
So socialblade.com. Check yourself. If you're not worth anything, then find something else to do. Sorry. Or get better.
Now, here's the crazy part. Some of these sponsors will actually pay you to actually do the video. One of the examples is like Jet. We can actually body of it. We'd like to work with Jet, but the thing is that if he's doing a review, he could actually take a hit on his subscribers because it's not something that the subscribers are actually interested in. So he's going to actually lose money for publishing a video that generally his audience is not interested in. So some people actually pay their way out to actually have them do a review.
Okay, cool. So bottom line, boys and girls, understand that if you have nothing to offer, don't be hurt when no one responds to you. I mean, and I'm not saying that to be hurtful. I'm just saying that, like, just because you have 20 people that follow you on Instagram doesn't mean you're influencing large groups of people. Sorry.
Speaking of big influencers, we got a big influencer in the house.
Did someone show up?
Mark from Red Wolf.
Oh, is he that
Missed that boy.
Really?
He is.
I'm ready to see him at SHOT Show.
Dude, he's from Arkansas, bro.
He's no Tim from Red Wolf, is all I'm saying.
Oh, did you hear that, Mark? He said you're not Tim.
Shots fired. I mean,
well, no. And then, you know what they used to tell Tim?
What?
He's not Arclight.
Well,
it's just never-ending cycle.
Here's what I'm going to say. I would change my opinion of Mark if he might be a guest on the show at some point, the same as Tim did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could get to know him, and then I could change my opinion.
He's been on the show.
Actually, I think I know someone.
Because if I wasn't here, it didn't happen.
You can beat up Mark at SHOT Show. He'll be there.
No, I'm going to give
There's
him
someone. There's someone that is older than someone at Red Wolf that doesn't even no one would actually know who this person is, and now he does photography now. Kaiman Wong. He was actually part of the first initial videos on Red Wolf Airsoft.
Kaiman, that's a tough name to come up in school with. I mean, that can lead to some teasing.
Okay, boy or girl?
Both?
Yes.
I don't know. It's 2020, man. Do whatever you want.
Oh no.
What if it's like the Wachowski brothers? Wait, no, they're not brothers anymore. They're the ones.
I thought there was 90 genders.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
yeah,
we're not going down that rabbit hole.
So
moving on. Airsoft, football cars.
Okay. So we've been talking a lot about airsoft stuff and airsoft gear. What caused you to shift from being an airsoft gear whore to investing more into cameras and photography and video equipment, and what made that transition?
So I'm still a gear whore, but I'm not as much of an airsoft tactical gear whore as I used to be. But the mentality of being a gear whore is still there, and I think my expenses of being a gear whore still have gone up way higher due to photography. It all started when I watched a YouTube channel named Peter McKinnon. And it was mainly because I wanted to delve back into photography again. And I was originally using a Canon T3i, one of the most common revolutionary cameras aside from the 5D Mark II back in 2010.
There's one sitting here right in our studio. We were just doing Amazon stuff in the last couple of weeks with one. So I'm familiar on how to operate one, apparently. So
right.
I'm not so useless.
Right. Oh, no. So the long story short is that Peter McKinnon, I would consider him the god of Canon on YouTube because all he does is use Canon cameras, but he made the best, crispiest B-roll. He's also known as the B-roll king on YouTube. He mainly vlogs, he does a lot of tutorials, and he had a major jump from like 2007 to now of 4 million subscribers.
What's his channel called? Real quick?
Peter McKinnon. That's all it's called.
Peter McKinnon. So would you say, I mean, like, is there anybody else that you'd recommend for like places to go learn from on YouTube? Because that's the place most people learn nowadays. If I want to know something, I find someone to explain it to me in a video. So
as far as editing,
any other recommendations for what do you got?
That's a really good question. There's a lot of people that come off come off my mind right now. I would say it would definitely have to be Chris Howe, who actually helped me get into Sony. Like one of my friends was saying, if you want to influence or convince yourself to go to Sony, it would be Chris Howe, which is Peter McKinnon's friend. That's the irony to that.
So Peter McKinnon, Chris Howe. What's Chris Howe's channel? Do you know by any chance?
Just CHRIS space HAU.
Okay, cool. So Peter McKinnon, Chris Howe, two good resources. You got an editor that you like to follow it anyway?
I like to follow
actually a lot of those YouTube channels.
Premiere Gal.
Premiere Gal.
She has like these short 3 to 4 minute videos on YouTube that, like, if you want to just learn just this specific, it's like she's so good.
All right, I'm not being derogatory. I call those dump videos. Because those are like the perfect videos where you go and you take a dump and you just want to learn like 5 minutes worth of stuff.
Yep.
Or you just want a 5-minute video. If you go longer than that, you're never going to finish it because you're not going to come back and remember what video you're watching.
Well, like today,
you know?
I was trying to figure out how do I turn off this damn proxy in After Effects. But I think like YouTube, I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, I hate After Effects at times.
So you need to click.
David from no, not you, David. David from Dice Airsoft. He says, we need more maple syrup on the show. Right here, David. Escuminac. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Just grab Robo Murray.
It's Escuminac. This is like I'm gonna pull it up to the.
You go all the way up there.
I'm gonna go up to the camera.
I have to say, what I have moved away from maple syrup in my life. I've discovered Welch's blueberry syrup, and I've now fallen in love with it. It's become a staple in my house.
To follow back on that question,
it's supposed to be like premium, like syrup. I have not found the opportunity.
He has talked up this syrup so much that at this point, if he drinks it, he's going to be sorely disappointed. I mean, he brags about it. He shows it off. I'm pretty sure it's not even syrup at this point.
I mean, the fact that it's the whole top is sealed with wax as if it's like aged whiskey. It's like.
And all I'm going to say is this.
It looks so smooth
that marketing works on a marketing guy. Is all I'm going to say. That's all it does. Small bottle, pretty label.
I know.
And he desires it. So.
I actually got this from Jonathan from Airsoft Innovations, and I'm just like, one day.
Wait. So they have cool syrup and new grenades.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're Canadian.
I'd stop by their booth if I were you. Do you like that plug? You like that? Sorry, man. What's up?
On the subject about gear, the reason why I want to say I transitioned a lot into cameras is mainly because I wanted to push a lot of my quality of content up. And a really good example is like on Instagram. My average for like photos on Instagram was for likes is about 200 likes. And then I saw an upsurge, I want to say sometime in the middle of right before Copperhead, of people that really liked the quality photos. And so it went up to like 600 likes. And then it got even more crazy sometime towards fall where one random photo got 5,000 likes and then a couple bin photos would get 1,200 likes. So the proof in the pudding is that if you increase your quality of your photos, instead of just using your iPhone or your Samsung, you might even get a lot of people liking your photos just because it's a quality photo.
Hold on. Are you saying that actually having something that people want to look at and is pleasant to the eye will get people to push the like button more than just some random crap you threw up there and are begging people to like?
Probably.
No. So yeah,
the long story short is
makes
that
a difference, guys. Quality makes a difference. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, David. I just wanted to reinforce that. What he's saying here, guys, is that people don't have popular visual things by accident. They put work into it. They use the right equipment. They frame their shots properly. They put time into it. I would guess, David, that you probably have any given shot that you post, you probably have 40 or 50 throwaway shots that you're choosing that from. Am I right?
More or less.
Yeah.
And you do this also a lot. Yes, it turns into a long process, and that's where I'm trying to push weekly content, and it's been a lot more of a delay right now, mainly because my editor that I go to, Jason, he was sick previously, and he's just finally getting back on track. And I would give him the content.
Impact your work. God damn it.
Yes.
Get better quickly.
The other thing is that I set a day where I will actually go do my A-roll, and then another couple days where I'll do a lot of my B-roll. So I want to say I had a series of videos that I did 4 videos in 6 hours for A-roll, and then I would take about 2 to 3 weeks to actually do my B-roll. Cool. And it's mainly because I have to coincide with my work time, take my days off to actually do work. So it's just a lot of time, long story short. And that's just being a single individual that's taking care of the production side and then pushing it to someone else to actually take care of the post-production, so that way I can focus on more of the production side.
And I hate to say this, buddy, but I just looked down at the clock, and we are actually going to have to wrap this up. So before we move on to events, because this has been, by the way, I didn't even realize it was 7:30 already. This was fun, guys. Thank you so much for being in here. And so I got a couple quick questions, and we're going to move on to events. You get to stick around for events, right?
Yep.
Sure.
Awesome. Cool.
Oh, no. He's being voluntold. He's sticking around for
I was trying to be polite about it. God, I mean, like, you can be the asshole here. I'll be the nice guy. Is that a new thing? Like, you just you put the hammer down, and I hug them afterwards?
That's why everybody comes to you and asks for stuff now.
No one comes to me. Like, no one even knows my number, for God's sake. All right, so this is more of like a short answer one. 2019, not things you've regretted, but if you could do something, one thing differently in 2019, what would you have done? It doesn't have to be a bad thing, just something you could have done differently, maybe a learning lesson. It doesn't have to be bad, just one moment.
That's something I can't really think off the top of my head right now. It's there's been a lot of good things that I've done in 2019. It's so hard to think about, but
no worries, man. That's a good sign. If you can't think of a way you would do your last year differently, that's a pretty good sign that you're living your best life. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's right.
It would definitely be my dog, for sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I remember, for you guys who didn't know, David lost it was a Chihuahua, am I right?
Yeah.
Lost his Chihuahua right at Conquest of Avalon, had kind of a hard weekend. As you can see, it's still affecting him right now. And all of you guys who are dog lovers out there, you'll know that, like, I'm one of those guys who likes dogs more than I like humans. So I totally get where he's coming from right now.
Yep.
Oh, what's that look about? Don't give me that.
No, that's
I'm
coming
pandering.
from we just bought a puppy.
Another one?
No.
Okay, never mind.
Okay.
I didn't know if there was a surprise puppy you were going to
No. So we just bought a puppy for the family, which is actually, I came across it was pretty perfect because my wife loves Bassets and my son loves pugs, and it's a mix between a Basset pug
so
and
it's like
a beagle.
A smashed face with really long
Actually,
ears?
it doesn't have a smashed face. It was the only one of 8 that had a mask. So I had, I always have to have a reason why things should be the way they are.
You should see this guy's house.
And
he's color coordinated like a woman.
So I wanted to it's a girl puppy, and I wanted to name her after something.
Something
and
Star Wars. It's going to be something Star Wars.
So I told my family, we'll name her Cookie. And they're like, oh, that's such a sweet name. And they were hooked for like a couple days. And then my wife finally goes, so what'd you name Cookie? Where'd that come from? I'm like, because she has a mask. And she's like, what? I go, there's a female villain in the Mask animated series named Cookie Baboom. And my wife goes, what? Show me a picture. And I showed her a picture. She said, you're naming our puppy after an exotic dancer?
What's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, no.
Okay, so we'll move on from that since you caught the feels a little bit on that one.
Yeah.
Let's get no worries, man. Actually, like, I feel a little bit like Barbara Walters right now. I made my guest cry, but in a good way. Wow. I'm moving up in the world. I'm like a professional and shit. Okay, so a little more positive. 2020. Pretty new year.
Yep.
What is something that you want to get done this year? What's one of your big priorities?
I think my biggest priority right now is to actually take care of a lot of my debt. That's the biggest thing. When it comes to camera stuff, it's not cheap. Like, it's a funny part to
cameras. Credit cards are
cameras.
your friend, is what you're trying to say? Or
Credit
not
cards
your
are definitely my friend. My biggest best friend right now is PayPal credit, and that's
dangerous.
big. Yeah, it is very dangerous because they have a definition of no limits, and I actually hit their limit on there.
Ooh, that's scary. I don't even know how you do that.
My priority right now is to take care of my debt, and so.
So if you need a wedding photographed, if you need your car photographed, if you need a video made, he'll work for almost nothing at this point.
And you're in the Oklahoma City area?
Oklahoma City area. He'll work for peanuts, literally. Like peanuts, food. He'll work for it. Go for it.
Yeah, no, it's there's so much money in this. I swear to God, I think I have invested more than most of my friends that have night vision goggles. Like,
and
accumulating everything.
You're a noodle guy too, right?
Yeah, I used to own 2 sets of night vision goggles. A lot of when I did my transition. Yeah.
Are you no longer a noodle guy?
No, I have one set of night vision
okay.
goggles, and then I still have my bridge kit that I'll steal from Tony's set of PVS 14s.
Okay, just I got a little worried there because not seeing a pair of nods on your head means like the world is not right. You're Captain Nods as far as I'm concerned.
I got to have the nods to look good.
Yeah.
Looking cool is what matters
He only
too.
wears them in the daytime.
Ooh,
just so you guys know.
Adam says he can vouch for his wedding photos.
Ooh, so
I've done his wedding photos.
That is a recommendation. And honestly,
Wait, was it his first wedding or his second wedding?
Oh no!
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding,
It
Adam.
was the first wedding,
I'm
no.
just kidding.
Second wedding, yes. That might be why they're divorced now. No, major shout out, guys. If you're in the OKC area, you need work done. David is always available. And I'm not trying to advertise something you don't do here. You're always available to do side gigs, right?
Yeah, no, I've done side gigs for productions as well. I've
Make sure you
taken
get
care of my friends.
Always have a hustle. Even if you have a full-time job, you need to have a hustle.
I was setting him up as a hustle. I didn't even know I was building his hustle right in front of you. Did you see that?
He's got more hustle than
He's
the
got
average
he's
Joe.
got me beat. So, all right, you ready for the last question, sir? You made it all the way through the interview? You got one more?
No, we got to.
I'm ready for my final answer.
Because Holly's waving, we got to get through the events because we got a lot of events.
She's throwing stuff now. Sorry,
because
you can't see it on camera.
because of our
It's okay. Sorry.
sponsors. So
Apparently, I talked too long. All right,
we're going to be coming back with events. We're going to cut to a quick short break. David's not going anywhere.
Is he?
No, he better not. He better not. So, and we're going to be, after the event segment, we're going to be drawing a name to see who gets that Airsoft Innovations XL burst grenade.
Well, you're going to have to do the
Because
events.
the more you commented, we're going to pull from the comments.
Because I have to write down every comment on a piece of paper and put it in a hat, and then shake the hat to pull it out. So you're going to have to do. I mean, it's going to take me a while. We're going to have at least a 40-minute show.
So, all right, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Are we going? What's going on, guys? It's Nigel with Elite Force. Check out the Valken Debrief. Debrief? Try one more time. Check out my briefs. I like my briefs. Check out the briefs. What's going on, guys? Nigel with Elite Force. Check out the Valken Debrief every Thursday at 8 p.m.
The shortest path to your target is always a straight line. Be sure to check out Valken's full line of highly polished precision BBs made in Taiwan. The Valken Accelerate Pro Match BB is available now at your local Valken authorized dealer.
And we are back, the Valken Debrief Airsoft live show, episode number 111, and we've been interviewing David Lee, the man behind Asianwithhat on social media.
Wait, there's another Asian with hat?
No.
He's the man behind the man, or is he the? Oh,
He
that's
is the
figure,
man.
Figure of speech.
Yeah,
okay.
figure of speech.
you.
So if you're just joining us or came in late, you can always catch the rewind on Facebook or head on over to YouTube, look up Valken Debrief, and you'll find us there, or SoundCloud if you just like to follow the podcast.
Can we make the thumbnail on SoundCloud me doing this? I really want that to be our thumbnail for every video, every SoundCloud thing from now on. Is that possible? No? Okay.
So the Valken Debrief event segment is brought to you by Elite Force Airsoft.
We just saw a guy from Elite Force a couple seconds ago, didn't we?
I know. Nigel and Cliff were in there.
Were they?
Yeah.
Can you see them? This
I was
week
just.
coming up?
I was unhappy Evan wasn't in there. I'm gonna have to get on Evan.
If you see Evan, it's like a Sasquatch sighting. He's got long hair and a long beard, and he hides in the background, so you got to look for him.
This week's Elite Force product feature is the VFC Avalon Caliber Carbine.
I am actually a Caliber owner myself.
Oh, nice.
I am quite a fan. It is powering my light machine gun right now, the internals. I have a Crytek upper on the top, so I can be full auto at big games.
Bastardize it. All right.
You know
That's
me.
an interesting combination.
Let's get to the Elite Force events.
All right, you guys ready for this? We're going to roll through this because we talked too long and made things a little late.
Yep.
All right, so coming up first, Operation Rochambeau, January 18th. MSATO is running this at the Strathmore Paper Mill in Russell, Massachusetts. I keep saying there's less than 25 tickets left. Either you guys aren't buying it, or we haven't updated our copy.
I think they're sold out.
Yeah, I think they're sold out at this point. So apparently we just don't
this weekend.
update our copy until the event goes away. Have you been to the paper mill or anything like that up in that area, David?
No, I have not, but I know a lot of guys that went to that, and there's actually a big video from them. It's called OES Milsim. You'll have to look it up. It's a really interesting place because it looks like something that is just a down plant. That it was very interesting to actually see some of the footage that was there when I saw it from my friends.
So OES Milsim is going to be your best way to check out that location, and obviously they're sold out, so got to wait till next year.
Right.
Coming up next, Battle for Los Angeles 2020, January the 31st to February 2nd. Desert Fox Airsoft Events will be holding this in Victorville, California at George Air Force Base. Have you made it out to George yet, buddy?
I have not. That's one of those places I would love to go out to, but due to scheduling right now,
well, that's
I cannot.
That's like a 20-something hour drive for you too, right?
I've done worse.
Okay, so he's an iron road man. I don't know. I'm running out of jokes here.
The furthest I've driven by myself is 12 hours.
Oh, that's not very far. Like, I think we're going 20 hours to Georgia this year a couple times. Like, we can do it. It's not a big deal.
South Carolina.
South Carolina, is that the longest trip?
Yep.
Okay. All right, coming up after that, Operation Bone Strike 4. This is the 21st to 23rd of February. Southern Region, Third Coast is holding this in Vicksburg, Mississippi at the hospital. You might see some familiar faces there. I'm not guaranteeing anything. You might.
We're one of the sponsors now.
Are we? Mm-hmm. So you will be seeing these two lovely faces there. Come by and say us. Big yellow booth. Might have some new additions this year.
Oh yes.
We're bringing the
Look
the
for
road
the
show
yellow
hard,
roof.
and bringing a couple brands under one banner. So
I would like
us
to
out.
say, Corey Saltsider just joined us in the chat. Congratulations to you and Christine. 30 hours of labor is a tough thing to go. Congratulations on the new additions.
High five for being a double daddy and double mommy. You
Yeah.
guys are kicking ass out there. Keep it up. Coming up next, what do we got? Oh, are you doing Bone Strike, or are you gonna be around there?
There's some plans. We're wanting to actually talk to Third Coast as Body Armor Event to actually sponsor some of their events, and we're wanting to actually make our way to actually Third Coast along with AMS events this year for sponsoring events.
Very cool. Awesome. So you get to see some new event stuff for
Yes,
work,
sir.
which is never a bad thing. All right, coming up next, we got Road to Kharkiv, February 21st to the 23rd, Milsim West Joint at Hill 559 in Clovis, California. This is that big, huge rolling terrain place, if you've seen the videos. Got lots of long shot opportunities. And also Milsim West, if you want to dress up and be perfectly immersed, that's your home right there. So check them out. Coming up after that, we got Operation Stonebreaker 2020. This is another Third Coast joint. This is going to be March 20th to the 22nd at GTI in Barnwell. Now, I know both of you guys have been to GTI, so hit me up.
Yep.
What you got?
I'll go first.
Don't tell him.
Don't tell him.
You sons of bitches.
Because I want him to experience it for the first time.
I mean, I've been to GTI.
I know. I'm saying I want Chris to experience it.
Yeah, no.
You know what we should do, David? We should throw him into the hexafluoride building as his first mission.
Now let
These
the
motherfuckers
whole
don't know who they're talking about.
whole faction get into the building. And you only have a squad left in it.
Okay, apparently this is going to be another make me look like an asshole trip. So I'll be seeing you guys at GTI. By the way, we'll be there if you hadn't picked up on that. Anything TCA, we're going to be doing a lot of TCA events this year. So if you're doing Third Coast, please look out for us. So just assume from now on, if I say TCA, you will be seeing these two lovely old faces there. Coming up next, we got, where am I at? Saratov Insurgency, March 20th to the 22nd. Another Milsim West joint at Panthera Training Center. Do you know anything about Panthera? We haven't gotten any information from anybody about this. So have you heard anything about that place?
Myself, I have not. I've actually heard that it's a training center, obviously, but I've heard it's a very interesting place. That's a long story short I'll give you.
So it's new. No one's been there. So if you're looking for something new to expand your horizons, this is where to go. Coming up next, we got ACS Airsoft is holding a 7-year anniversary. Now, I just got to say, anybody who's been around for 7 years in this sport and keeping their business going is doing something right. So that's just right there in a recommendation. It's going to be on March 28th. It's going to be run by ACS Airsoft in West Paducah, Kentucky. Also, by the way, Paducah has a lovely ham festival. And while you're there, you can swing by Fort Campbell, right down the road, see the home of the 101st Airborne, check out that history museum.
101st, I know that.
It's the shit.
No.
I'm just saying, we just, Band of Brothers is all I'm going to say. How many movies were made about your... Oh, that's right. How many series? Oh, that's right. Anyway, moving on.
If it was made into a movie, it didn't matter.
Of course, we're still beat by the Marines, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Have you been to ACS, buddy?
No, but I've actually ran with Preston and his brother. They're actually really chill guys. I actually had to help him help his brother at a Broken Home event where he actually cast in the first 2 or 3 hours. Literally, I had to take the initiative and actually call in tell them we need to get him off the field ASAP.
So you haven't been to the site, but recommendation by the people who go there, basically. So good people there? Okay.
Yes, they're very good guys.
So recommendation from Asianwithhat himself. Coming up after that, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this one.
Yep, you are.
Okay. Trecien and Copan, March 27th to the 29th. This is going to be a Central Milsim event.
Javier, he did it.
I did it again. Come at me, bro. What you got? Feeling froggy? Go ahead and jump. Anyway, so this is going to be at the Arena Training Facility in Blakely, Georgia. This is where they got their start. This is the original site. They're full immersion. It's so immersive that they keep OPSEC outside of the goddamn games. I don't know what goes on. Go check it out. I am dying to check out one of their events, and maybe I'll get there someday. Have you done a Centurion, David?
I've been looking into it. It's probably gonna be one of those things that I'd have to try out first before I put myself fully into it.
Well, I mean, and especially because they won't tell you shit about it, so you really do have to go just experience it before you can recommend it. Because I don't know anything that they do. I know there's this Verduga guy, but whatever the hell he's about.
See, Javier said another one for the waterboard scenario right there.
Oh,
right there.
Bring it, nasty girl, is all I'm saying to that. All right, after that, Operation Castle, March 27th, 29th, Pacific Region. Lion Claws is running this. John Liu himself is hosting. This is at the prison in Carson City. Remember, do not drop your magazine in the showers. It's important. Oh my gosh. Just don't drop your magazine. Make sure your buddy is covering you before you pick it up. That's all I'm going to say about this event. Moving on. It's in an old jail. It looks really rad. 3 sides. They're doing a lot of kind of scenario stuff in there. John talked us through it a little bit. Sounds like a lot of fun. Check it out. Coming up after that, we got Southern Front 2, April 3rd to 5th, Southern Region, American Milsim at D14 in Sanger. These events are really fun because they are local events and they are bringing the American Milsim leadership and higher level, don't mean that negatively, but the national level players down to a local game, expose you. It's kind of what we call a bridge event. I think David has some things to say about this event. What you got?
I've been to D14 plenty of times. Really great owner. Jay, Scuba, and all those guys, including the admins, they're really great people. Maddie, who is actually talking in there, really great people. AMS is gonna have a really a huge blast down there, and I'm eager to actually come back and actually have the drone squad come back out.
So, are you going to be doing some leadership for this one like last time, or are you just normal?
That's a good question. I think among like Anthony, Garrett, and some of the other people, I think we're going to just do a squad and see how it goes. Aside from that, unless John Michaela wants me to come back.
Well, I think. Oh, yeah.
And also in the chat, Brandon from Bad Ass Photography, or is it Bad Action?
I think it's bad, action photography.
Bad action photography, yeah. So he's going to be there. He does great stuff. He actually caught a really good photo of me last year, and the only time I've actually was in my black kit in 2019.
Well, he was at Avalon, right? Did he get that shot of you like walking around like the Wolf Lord?
He did.
Yeah, he got some. So if you like those shots from Avalon, Conquest of Avalon this year, he was there. Got great shots of, people that I didn't even realize were there. Really good work. Check him out. Coming up after that, oh yeah, and by the way, AMS Local Bridge event. It's a lot of fun. It also lets you support your local field and do a national level event. Take advantage of it. Coming up after that, we got Operation Fallen Kingdom, April 3rd to the 5th. This list just goes on forever today. Northeast region, Lion Claws is holding this. Fort Monmouth in Tinton Falls, New Jersey. The Lindell brothers actually clued us into this. This is kind of like an old battalion area. It's like the admin areas, like barracks and headquarters buildings and stuff like that. So sounds pretty cool. Have you been there, David?
I have not. There's a lot of new locations that I'm amazed by, and I'm hoping that a lot of these event organizers keep finding these very unique locations.
Ooh, high five, dude. Wonderful comment, brother. I full-heartedly agree. Coming up after that, we got Battle at the Depot. This is April 24th to the 26th. MSATO, and this is also at the Seneca Army Depot again. So Once again, another recommendation. MSATO is a major powerhouse in the Northeast. And actually, you know what? I have not played any airsoft in the Northeast. We need to rectify that at some point. I mean, it's a schlep, but like and I'm from there. It's kind of embarrassing. Finally. Oh, are we?
No, that was all the events.
Oh, was that? Oh,
that was all the events.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, John McCaleb, I literally stopped setting up the booth to chime in to say no. Not sure what I'm saying no to, but multiple people told me to say hell no.
I have no idea what they're saying.
I think what he's saying either.
John.
I think it's the leadership part.
I think we invited John to. I think John, we invited you to our suite for the evening, for a night of cocktails and games. No.
All right. Oh, Michael T. Miller Sr. says yes for Fort Monmouth. Can't wait. Love going to that event with my son. Already packed, waiting to fuel up.
Okay. So right here, Mr. Miller, I am nominating you as our new correspondence intern. We are going to need a full report and pictures from your event, your trip, and we need to know everything what you enjoyed and did not like and didn't like. Send it back to us.
Oh my gosh. So we come to that part of the show. We got to draw a name from all the comments.
Okay. Well, we tried at the break and it just was my name. So do I get to keep it or
no?
What? I can't win stuff on my own show. Is that
man?
Against the rules?
492 comments.
Ooh, I like that. Where did we peak out at? We peaked out at like.
I think we got to 60.
Did we? Take that ASAP.
I know, right?
I know. Ooh.
So
see, all I had to do was talk about the male genitalia, and John showed right up to comment. See, he stopped working to comment on that. Just saying.
Oh, so the random number generator for all 492 comments.
I can't fucking believe you spent $10 on that thing. That is the
shoddy.
Like that was the most expensive, worthless app ever. I can't believe you spent money on that.
John Dorsey.
John Dorsey, what's up?
Mr. Fuji Boy.
John Dorsey.
Did he win for the Fuji Apple comment, or was that another one? Because I remember
he was replying to somebody.
There was an argument about apples somewhere in there at some point.
I know, right?
It was kind of nuts today. Whew. So John Dorsey, you have a Airsoft Innovations Explodey package coming your way.
Tag him in there.
Sorry, tag him.
Tag him, David.
Tag him.
I'm going to type right now. John Dorsey, you have been.
There. I was like, no, Airsoft Innovations. No, wrong company.
You have been
Tag John. So
summoned.
Please give a thumbs up and a like for Airsoft Innovations providing us with those wonderful prizes.
In order for me to ship it to you, you got to sign up for the Valken Alliance, so I can have your address, email, and phone number, so I know where to ship it to.
We are going to grow the alliance one expensive gift at a time. I don't think it's a very good marketing strategy, but we're going to try it.
Hey, it's free stuff. I mean, free stuff. Go sign up, and you get a. They were like what, $45, $50 grenades?
I think they're right around. I mean, I would be glad to be handed a reusable, what's it called, green gas powered grenade just for simply enjoying, two idiots talking on the internet. Sorry, we're 3 idiots tonight, not 2.
So we just want to quickly, David, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it.
In the words of a great warrior poet, today is a good day that I did not have to use the AK. That's Ice Cube, by the way.
That's Ice Cube. So I know you have you're always working and you're always bouncing from one thing to the next. So thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I actually enjoyed the conversation, and to the guys that actually joined in, you guys are awesome. I actually didn't expect this many people actually wanting to chime in and actually talk along with us.
I think you're in our top 5 for numbers, dude. So high five to that, man. Blow your ego up a little bit, and if nothing, even if they were here just to be salty in the chat, who cares? Numbers are numbers, right?
Yeah.
Claim them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So David, don't go anywhere. Hang out in the green room for a second. We'll be right back with you right after we
close this. Do we gotta get his
prize
prize package that they leave with? Like there's like soap and it's like turtle wax and some other weird shit. I don't know. I had to put a bunch of them together.
It's whatever you can buy at like a gas station.
Well, turtle wax falls into that, right? I mean, that's just what I remember.
So don't go anywhere, David. We'll be right back with you. So, all right, everybody. So thanks for watching. We want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Enola Gay and Elite Force. Mm-hmm. And again, if you caught in the tail end of that, please check us out, the Rewind on YouTube. Look up Valken Debrief, or on SoundCloud, Valken Debrief.
And the most important place you can find us, SHOT Show.
SHOT Show next week.
So we're going to be at the Valken booth, 3826. Did I get that right?
You did.
Oh, I got that off the top of my head. I'm better because it's one number, doesn't change every week. So 3826. David, what's the booth number they can find you at?
Oh no, is
he gone?
Yeah, he's gone. He took off his headphones and his microphone already. So
32501, if I remember properly. How did I pull that right out of my head?
You were amazing.
I'm on spot today.
You were on it.
But please come say hi to them. Check out our sponsors, Enola Gay and Elite Force at SHOT Show. They got a bunch of cool stuff to show you guys.
Yep, Elite Force will be up on the main floor upstairs.
Just download the SHOT Show app.
Yeah.
It tells you where everybody
Enola
is.
Gay is in the law enforcement section. We're on level 1 at 3826.
We actually lucked out. We're near the food court, so we should get all that fatty traffic that's getting snacks.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
What's bad is you smell it all day long just cooking.
It's a good thing that I have been stuffed up for like 2 weeks now, because I'll be safe. So
Woo, Benjamin Hoochin from Gorilla Airsoft's watching. Woo. So, if you want Thursday night to be Airsoft night, check out ASAP Podcast, Gorilla Airsoft Podcast.
Is ASAP on tonight? I think ASAP's off tonight.
No, I think they're on tonight.
On
I can't remember if Gorilla's on tonight.
No, I know ASAP's not on tonight because this is right about the time that Punk would be and Cole would be bitching in the chat for us to end the show.
Well, Cole was watching, so
okay.
So yeah, Thursday is Airsoft night. Also, if you're overseas, check out the Sharesofter show on SoundCloud. So he has
He actually has the best patch of any podcast. I'm going to say it right now.
It is.
He wins.
Andy Self does have a really cool
and really, he should call him Andy himself. He missed a whole, like, I mean, I've been thinking about that ever since the interview. It's driving me nuts.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. We will
Appreciate
be
it, guys.
back. SHOT Show with Matt Holler.
And
Missouri.
a live studio, new format, live studio audience. Yep. We're doing it Johnny Carson style next week.
Matt Holler is from Missouri Airsoft and Simulation Site. I think he's gonna be giving away a ticket to Operation Hornet's Nest in June.
Oh, don't lie to them. Don't get their hopes
up. Okay,
he
is gonna be giving away a ticket. So
you went a totally different direction with that.
Okay.
I was totally setting you up one way.
Phone lines will be open. We'll be broadcasting from our suite in the Venetian Tower.
That's dangerous because it's gonna be a night like the last night of SHOT Show. That night, everybody has seen us all week. They're going to be out partying.
That's Thursday night. No, the last night is Friday.
Okay, well, second to last night. Still, they're going to be starting to party hard because they don't have to work anymore.
No.
And they're going to be calling the phone lines. It's going to be bad.
No,
that's all I'm going to say.
It starts at 5 p.m. Pacific.
Have you seen our friends? That's not.
No. But what I'm saying is for SHOT Show, that's when the floor closes. So by the time we finish the show, everybody's going to be ready to go out and party.
Oh, so we can catch the wave. Like we'll keep that high going of being on the air, and then just roll right into dinner with everybody when they get done with work.
Jerry Ross says Gorilla starts in 30 minutes.
Okay, so Gorilla, we're ending right now. If you don't go watch Gorilla Airsoft, you're no longer a fan of ours. You're gone. That's how it is.
All right, check us out next week. We'll see ya.
Love you guys.
But there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second. Surrender.
I didn't think you had it in you. I'm your huckleberry.
We will not go quietly into the night.
It is your killer instinct which must be harnessed if you expect to survive in combat.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen.
Remember this day, man, or it will be yours for all time.
What keeps you awake at night?
Nothing. I keep other people awake at night.